For the London Monarchs and Tony Vincent, there's been plenty to smile about lately. 2 games, 2 victories, 350 yards rushing, and 1 quest for the World Bowl. The Barcelona Dragons beat the Monarchs week 4. They have to win again to keep their championship dream alive. Normally in June, you'd expect Spain to be sunny and bright and cheerful, but not today. It's raining, and it's raining with a vengeance as the Barcelona Dragons get ready to host the London Monarchs week 8 of the World League. And it's a vital game for both teams. They're both at 3 and 4. They both need to win. The winner remains right in the hunt for the World Bowl. The loser is in big trouble. Hi, I'm Nick Halling, joined by the former Jets and Giants punter Dave Jennings. Dave, what have these 2 teams got to do today?
Hold on to the football. That's the key thing. It's very wet out there. Now, Barcelona is a passing team. They go with the 2 tight ends, so they throw the ball a lot. Where London with Tony Vincent, they're a running team, but the key is hold on to the football. Barcelona has turned over the ball the most this year. London has not. They've taken it away the most, so that could be the key figure today.
And as for the watching audience back there in the States, I think the trick is if you're afraid of water, do something else, because you're going to get wet today. We're back with the kickoff after this.
Today's game is brought to you by Bud Light, official sponsor of the 1996 Summer Olympic Games. Make it a Bud Light. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team.
Welcome to Barcelona in the southeast of Spain. Normally at this time of year, you'll find plenty of sun, sand and sangria, but not today. What we've got today is rain, and it's coming down in bucketfuls. It's been coming down all day, and it's still coming down, and that field is a quagmire. Nick Halling, along with Dave Jennings, the former Jets and Giants punter. This is one of those days, Dave, I think you're glad you retired.
Well, you never like to play in a game like this. As you look at some of the conditions today, it's not a bad day. It's not too windy, but it's just wet. It's raining. It hasn't let up. It's been raining all day. And, you know, watch the kickoff guy kick off here. See how he plants his left, you know, his foot. Does he stay planted? You'll see a lot of guys on the ground. You see potentially a lot of turnovers today.
Well, Pau Cole, the Spanish national, will get it underway from his own 30-yard line again. Both teams have got to win. Profile Greer fields at his 13. And somewhere among all the splashes, Greer is still on his feet and turning the corner out to about the 35, 36-yard line. And a good return from Greer in very difficult circumstances. So Preston Jones will start off with reasonable field position. Jones, who's not set the World League alight in terms of numbers and touchdowns and yardage, but he's made fewer mistakes than any other quarterback in this league, and that's going to be important tonight.
Well, his big job to hand the ball off to Tony Vincent, the running back, who has accumulated almost 350 yards in just the last 2 games. They go with a single setback. You'll see Vincent right behind. They go with a 3 wide receiver set, and they'll hand the ball off.
So the London Monarchs with a first down at their own 35-yard line. In driving rain, Tony Vincent gets the carry and is stopped after a yard. Demetrius Edwards, the defensive tackle, made the stop. They may give Vincent a couple, and they've got to stop Tony Vincent tonight because the man from Atlanta has shredded his last 2 opponents. Russell White joins him in the backfield. Willie Hinchcliffe and Ed Howard, the wideouts. Mike Titley, the tight end.
Although Russell White really is a slot receiver, but we will see him carry the ball today from that backfield spot. Now he's in the backfield in the I formation directly behind Tony Vincent.
On 2nd down and 8. And now White shifts into the slot, leaving Vincent alone in the backfield. This is the formation that's been so effective for the Monarchs. Willie Hinchcliffe is wide open, looks to try and get past his man and beats him, and a good turn of speed down to the 45, and still on his feet Chris Crooms eventually on the stop, but Willie Hinchcliffe picking up his first catch of the evening.
Now you see what happens when Kenny Gale's a left cornerback who's got Hinchcliffe man for man, bottom of your screen. A little move, it delays the reaction time the field does by the defense. Now watch number 29 come up, a little left-right move, and there goes Gales. He can't react quickly enough, so a nice move by Hinchcliffe gets up on the other side of midfield.
Willie Hinchcliffe nursing a sore shoulder, no evidence of it there. And they're in Barcelona territory, and Tony Vincent runs into a brick wall. Ricky Sutton, the first man there. And then he got some help. Mike Middleton making a splash. 3 New York Jets players on the offensive line for the London Monarchs, but the guy that's really been talked about by his teammates is Chris Lundberg, the right tackle, who's starting his 18th straight game and quietly very effective.
This offensive line has come together the last couple of weeks, and you talk to the coaches, you talk to Tony Vincent, and they say the offensive line is the reason why we're running well.
1 yard for Tony Vincent there. And the pitch back once again to Vincent. There's pressure coming from O'Brien, and they've strung him out, and a loss of a yard. Kevin O'Brien with the pursuit. Usmain Berry came up from cornerback. And so far for Barcelona, they're doing a job on Tony Vincent. Very early days. The defensive front for the Dragons has really got to step up. Ricky Sutton and Josh Heinrich from the Detroit Lions at the ends. Vince Stewart and Demetrius Edwards, the run stoppers, in the middle.
Yeah, Sutton playing right defensive end for Darren Crine. Got a bad knee. We may see Crine. He wears number 56, but Sutton will start.
And 3rd down and around 11. After the loss of a couple for Tony Vincent. Mike Titley is split away from the line. A flag comes in. Jones, with a lot of time, goes over the middle, looks in the direction of Willie Hinchcliffe, who couldn't hang on, but a flag came in early.
Either an illegal formation or illegal motion on one of the receivers down here at the bottom. They had 3, and I don't think they were all set. It will probably be... No, they got offside against Barcelona, so that'll give them an extra down here.
And the Monarchs get a break because that 3rd down and long was incomplete. They'll now work a 3rd and 6.
They split Titley out that time, and they gave 3 wide receivers to the bottom of the formation.
Offside, defense, number 92, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty.
Josh Heinrich from the Detroit Lions.
Lined up in the famous neutral zone.
A zone where only one person is allowed to be, and that's the center. Jack Bicknell is in for a wet evening. So the Monarchs get a break. 3rd down and around 6. Jones drops back pass, pressure comes, and Jones has to get rid of it. He's found Hinchcliffe, but Hinchcliffe is stopped short of a 1st down by Kenny Gales.
And I have a feeling they'll go for it here. They're too far for field goal. I don't think they want to punt it. I think they might as well just try to go for it here. A couple yards short.
Let's go I.
Yeah, and they're going to keep Preston Jones on the field. I agree with this decision. You know, both teams have had trouble with punt snaps and field goal snaps, so I think they'll say, let's try to just run it out. You could see Jones just keep it, although they're in the I formation.
Although it is 4th and a long yard, and Jones is not the most effective sneaker in the league. There's movement on the line.
You got a false start.
Come in.
Got a false start against, I believe it was Tim Simpson, the right guard.
And that will change things massively if that's the case.
Now they'll probably punt the football. You saw the defensive lineman jump across, but he is allowed to get back. Now, the only thing they may be saying is if Simpson across from him reacted, they can call that against the offensive player. But they're still talking about it. There's a new rule in the NFL last year.
And it's against Barcelona again.
You watch the right side of your screen. He jumps, but does he get back? I thought he got back.
5-yard penalty.
That's Heinrich's 2nd time. I thought he got back. That's why I thought it was against the offense.
Well, the flag came straight in, and London get a lucky break. A 1st down there, and as you can see, Barcelona have not exactly set the World League alight in terms of penalties, and Josh Heinrich has been nailed twice already, and that's kept this opening drive alive. When you think they had an incomplete pass on 3rd and 11, the Monarchs. Jones fakes, has a lot of time, goes over the middle, got a man. Russell White takes an early bath, but hangs on and picks up 15 yards.
Boy, this is an experienced guy right here, because watch him catch the ball with his hands and pull it into his body. You'll see a lot of receivers. It'll come from the right side of your screen, right in the slot, just a long crossing pattern. And watch him just pull it right in with his hands. See how he catches with his hands and pulls it in? Good job by White. Veteran Lionel Taylor telling us yesterday he really likes this guy. He's good for our offense.
And that's the first splashdown of this ball game. It won't be the last. So Jones in the Barcelona red zone now to about the 17. Vincent gets it again and splashes his way inside the 15 down to about the 14. Ricky Sutton in on the stop. The linebacking crew for the Barcelona Dragons. There's a flag comes in. I think there was definitely a Monarch player was pushed over after the play had ended. But we'll have to wait for the official assessment there. Naposki, who's an original Barcelona Dragon from '91, joins Rick Hamilton and Kevin O'Brien.
Probably the strength of their defense is their linebackers. They combined for 8 sacks. Very active.
Well, let's hear from Walt Coleman again.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 52. Half the distance to the goal.
That is a dumb penalty from Ken Alexander, and Jack Bicknell knows it. Just shoved a Monarch over after the play.
Trips right. Let's go. Trips left. Slant 31. Let's see.
Coach Lionel Taylor sends in the play. And the ball is at the 7-yard line. Ed Howard is wide left. Hinchcliffe wide right. Russell White in the slot. Vinson in the backfield. Vinson it is, who looks and doesn't get a lot. Ran into big trouble. Looked like there might have been Tommy Thigpen on the stop, the defensive backs for the Barcelona Dragons. Let's take a look at them. Kenny Gales comes in from the Chicago Bears. Michael Wright on the other corner. Chris Crooms and Mike Middleton, the safeties. They were the starting safeties here last season as well. And a loss of a yard for Vinson.
Sometimes it's tough to run on a wet day for the offensive linemen because their feet just spin in the mud and the muck, and they have a tough time moving the pile. And the offensive line has been doing a good job for this London Monarch team. Let's see if they continue to run straight ahead.
Well, they're trying to keep that ball vaguely dry. It's going to be a very difficult assignment.
They just lost the play clock, so that's not functioning.
2nd down and goal. Jones with a lot of time swings it out and managing to hang on to about the 5. It was Chris Crooms that came in on the stop. Mike Titley will pick up around 2 yards, and that'll bring up 3rd down and goal.
Excellent tight end for the Monarchs. Been held kind of quiet the last couple weeks. I mean, part of that to Vincent's running the ball so well, but the other team's defense has done a lot to bracket him, double team him. They're just a quick out. Didn't gain much.
So London looking to punch this opening drive in. 3rd down and goal from the 6. Jones looks, it's tipped up in the air and dropped. They were looking for Ed Howard. Marvin Goodwin, the former Scottish Claymore, was there to break it up.
Quick slant from the right side of your screen. Howard lined up to your right. Just a quick slant, just a 3-step drop. Jones looks, turns, throws, tipped at the line, but still right in his hands. Should have caught it. And now we'll have an interesting extra point field goal attempt because the Monarchs in the last 4 games have had 1 per game mishandled snap.
And this is terrible weather for a kicker. Roger Ruzek is comfortably within his range, just 24 yards. Sonny Fexico, the holder. And the jeers and the whistles go up. And Roger Ruzek has put the London Monarchs on top early. A drive that was kept alive by Dragons penalties results in a field goal for the London Monarchs. They lead it 3-0. Welcome back to Barcelona. The London Monarchs 3 points to the good, courtesy of Roger Ruzek's field goal. An impressive drive kept alive, it has to be said, by Barcelona penalties, but Lionel Taylor made sure his team took full advantage of them. And now Kevin Hurst kicks it off and tries to slant it into the corner, and it takes a hop, and Charles Thompson fields at his 17 and gets past. No, he doesn't. Melvin Aldridge with the 2nd splashdown. The former Amsterdam Admiral.
Remember
a lot of these players are going to get wet, including the kickers.
Remember at the beginning of the game I talked about the kickoff guys and the kickers going down. Watch Roger Ruzek after the kick. Nice follow through. Whoops. And then of course on the return you can see Thompson try to come all the way across, and Aldridge has the nice angle. Splash.
I was going to say, you get marks for artistic merit in diving, don't you? I think Melvin Aldridge deserves some marks for artistry there. So Kelly Holcomb from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers takes over deep in his own territory. Charles Thompson tries to spin it around, but we'll get back to about the line of scrimmage, possibly a yard, before Mark Montroy, the nickelback, came up and made the stop. That's going to bring up 2nd and long for Barcelona, who have that lopsided offense. They're the #1 passing team, thanks to Kelly Holcomb and his 2,000 yards, but they don't run the ball too effectively, and Holcomb will toss it away.
See that number at the bottom, 12 interceptions. Sometimes he tries to force it in there when he should just throw it away.
So second down and long. Sami Alalampi, the Finnish national player, is split wide to the right for the Dragons. And on the ground once again, Charles Thompson runs into trouble. But Blaine Berger, this vastly improved defensive tackle for the Monarchs, was there on the stop.
Who was that?
Blaine Berger. I had my joke on that one last week. I daren't do it again. Charles Thompson in the backfield, Bryce Burnett and Demetrius Davis working the two tight end formation. They're both very productive. Marvin Marshall and Alfonso Browning, the wideouts, both allocated from the NFL. Third down and around 7 on their opening offensive series for Kelly Holcomb and the Barcelona Dragons. And Holcomb drops the pass, and he couldn't hang on. He was looking in the area of Jeremy Burkett from the New York Giants, but Burkett just couldn't get it.
Yeah, Burkett, the H-back here, he's lined up in the backfield. You should see him release right there, and he's going to run an out pattern, but Holcomb just throws it a little bit too far out, and the H-back Burkett cannot get to it. So Shane Edge comes into the game, and last week they had a little problem with their punt snap over his head, so we'll have to keep an eye on this one as well.
Shane Edge from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny McIntyre, the return man, stands at his own 40-yard line.
Look at that.
Another high snap. Edge does well just to deal with it. When he gets into trouble, Melvin Aldridge was after him again. Now Edge looking for a first down, and he's not going to get it because Kevin Gaines, the strong safety, came up and stopped him.
Bad decision. Had time to kick it. He just didn't feel comfortable, I believe, kicking it. And so he ran for it, and that's a turnover right there. Look at Bicknell. Snap is high now. They don't really rush it. He could pull it down. See, he gets it. He could pull it down and go ahead and kick it because that rush man is pushed outside. Now here, just kick the ball. Just kick it 10, 15, 20 yards, whatever. You're not going to outrun Kevin Gaines. Now he should be ready for this. High snap. Now just come back and kick it because you can see 24 was pushed outside. Just makes a bad decision. Last week, I don't think he could have gotten the ball off in a similar situation.
And it's given the Monarchs the ball at the 25-yard line. And Jones with a swing pass to Russell White, who gets Putner, does tripped up by Tommy Thigpen, but a flag.
Might have Mark Lamb for holding.
Good tackle in the open field from Tommy Thigpen, but we're going to have to wait for the call, and it is indeed a hold against the London Monarchs. And if it is a hold, that'll push it back a further 10 yards. Here's what
Holding. Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty.
79 is
Repeat,
Mark
first
Lamb,
down.
the center.
He is the offensive center. That's Lionel Taylor. Doesn't like the play, of course. Watch 79. See him to his right. Gets his hands inside. Just watch him pull him down with him. Little takedown. That's a 10-yard penalty.
Oh, flags flying around here in this game. Both these teams have been penalized during the season. And it's first down and 20. Hinchcliffe and Howard, the wideouts. Mike Tiddley in the slot. And they go on the ground. Russell White will pick up around 7 yards before he's stopped. That'll bring up second down and long.
I think we'll see Russell White carry the ball a little more today. Vincent has rushed it so much the last 2 weeks. He's kind of tired out during the course of the game. Alalampe tightening up his shoe. There's Preston Jones. You know, he hurt his hamstring about a month and a half ago. He's finally healthy. Last couple weeks, he's felt about 100%.
Second down and 14 for the London Monarchs. Jones with the swing pass again to Russell White, who gets past the first guy, and we'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. Rick Hamilton eventually on the stop, a pickup of 4, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 10.
Boy, Russell White again, a nice catch there, a veteran. You can pass the football in the rain if you just you got to put the rain out of your mind, and you got to catch it with your hands. And Russell White did a nice job pulling it in there as he did before.
Russell White came into this game with 14 catches for 146 yards on the season. So his production out of the backfield, very important. And it's White in the backfield once again. Jones drops, looks one way, looks the other, and just has to dump it off because the pressure was coming. And there may be another flag there because Jones went down late, and there is the flag dropped.
Well, I tell you,
and again, it's indiscipline, isn't it?
And they were going for Russell White, and Aposky had him blanketed. That's why Preston Jones could not get it to him.
In fact, they're calling it against Jones.
Just throwing the ball away.
But Jones was shoved over after the play.
Well, here's the penalty. You'll see him, and I think that they might turn it down, force a 4th down here. See, is he in the grass? In the grass? I don't know about that.
But look at this.
About do acrobat.
Darren Klein.
No, that's nothing. It's really nothing.
Preston Jones's face didn't look like it was nothing. But it brings up.
Well, they did turn it down.
And
well,
it sends out Sonny
lost it
Fexico.
down. I'm sorry, folks. Lost it down and the penalty, so he will punt the ball here. Last week, Fexico, last punt, with about 20 seconds to go, tried to kick it right down the middle of the field, shanked it out of bounds on about the 3-yard line.
Now, Sonny Fexico has the best gross average in the World League and the worst net average.
A lot of return yards. Almost 400 return yards, most in the league.
Fexico deals with the snap, takes his time, and just drills it.
He doesn't do a very good job. He's done this all year. Just kick it straight down the field through the end zone.
Actually bounces off the
help your
crossbar. A neat trick. So the Barcelona Dragons will take over from their own 20-yard line when we return. Along with Dave Jennings and a lot of rain, watching the Dragons and the Monarchs. The Monarchs leading 3-0. Barcelona with the ball for the 2nd time in the ball game. It was 3 and out first time. Kelly Holcomb will be looking to improve on that. Holcomb with a lot of time finds Charles Thompson in a lot of space. Thompson is stopped by Rick Newbill after a pickup of about 5 yards. The offensive line for the Barcelona Dragons really anchored by Lewis Age, who's healthy again, and Tom Robstock from the Raiders. That's the strength of that line.
Well, one guy who wants to have a better game this week is their right tackle, Chuck Bradley, was called for holding 4 times last week, so he wants to redeem himself today.
And they've given Charles Thompson 6 yards on the reception, which will bring up 2nd down and 4 from the 26-yard line. And the rain continues to fall here in Barcelona, the Catalan capital. Spread formation with just Thompson in the backfield, and Holcomb goes over the middle. He's got a man this time. It's Demetrius Davis, the scourge of London. So many times before Sean Crocker tripped him up.
What they like to do, they go with 2 tight ends, Davis on the right, Burnett on the left, and you'll see him come underneath. Just come underneath, because the tight end on the other side tries to clear it out, and this is a favorite pattern of Barcelona, and you see him catch it with his hands, pull it in, and take it upfield for the 1st down. So you can pass in this weather if you just concentrate, forget the rain, catch the ball with your hands.
William Perry, the refrigerator, has checked into the lineup for the London Monarchs. 1st down for Barcelona on their own 40-yard line. A pickup of 14 for Davis, who always plays well against the Monarchs. Holcomb gets it off, and it's intercepted. Darren Studstill still on his feet past the 40 and still looking for blockers. Studstill all the way down to the 30-yard line, and Studstill was the only receiver anywhere near it.
It appeared as though he was going to Bryce Burnett, the tight end, and the tight end just stopped. We'll take a look at this from the end zone and see if you can see Burnett. Bryce Burnett, number 89, which should be right side of your screen. See if he stops in the middle of the field. Holcomb tries to get it to him. No, he's coming. Not sure there now. We talked about turnovers. London's got the most takeaways. 23rd most in the league.
Chalk up another one there. Darren Studstill with 4 interceptions. Kenny McIntyre with 5.
Barcelona's got the most giveaways in the league. That's now 22.
Lionel Taylor's defense has come up trumps again, and London have excellent field position again. Didn't make anything of it last time. Jones on 1st down, drops the pass, has a man. Mike Titley to the 12-yard line, and a 1st down. A pickup of around 20 yards.
They went with the 2 backs. Vincent a fullback, so they released Titley inside. Now he's not clamped here. It's man-for-man coverage. Who's the man? We don't know. Nobody close to him. You got Chris Crooms, the safety, coming over, but normally they will bracket the tight end. That time it was man-for-man coverage and very, very loose. That's what a running game will do to you.
Howard and Hinchcliffe are the wideouts. Titley still a tight end. Russell White gets the carry, gets past the first wave, and will pick up around 4 yards, working behind the blocking of Vincent. Josh Heinrich on the stop along with Vince Stewart.
See Roger Ruzek there practicing his field goals. And notice they can use a little block tee here, the little black tee right there. They can use that in the World League. Can't use it anymore in college. Haven't been able to use it in the NFL for a long time, but they allow it over here.
Roger Ruzek has already converted one field goal, a 24-yarder. They're obviously comfortably into field goal range, but we'll be looking for more here on second down. Jones checks, looks, and it's broken up. Edwin Howard is complaining.
Yeah,
felt that he was pulled.
Grabbed him before the ball came in there, but nobody called it.
Certainly contact.
Howard just runs a quick slant. Titley going out, Howard coming in here. Watch 95. There's definitely pass interference.
Well,
I mean,
that's not pass interference, what is?
I mean, that is textbook pass interference.
Eric Naposki just stops Ed Howard getting it, and the officials were there, but it's academic now. It's a 3rd down and 7 for the London Monarchs. Preston Jones looking to put this one in. Has a man, and he's going to be short of first down yardage. A great stop from Mike Middleton on Willie Hinchcliffe.
You got to be critical of Hinchcliffe. He's got to know where that first down marker is. He's got to get to the first. He's got to get to the first down. He runs a quick out. You'll see him on the right side. There is a flag on the play, but you'll see him. He is short. And Wright just does a nice job of keeping him from Middleton, keeping him from making the first down yardage. Still talking about the penalty.
The Dragons seem to think it's going to go against London.
Well, they're trying to decide if they want to accept it, let him kick the shorter field goal, or turn it down.
Personal foul, shot block, number 68 on the offense, 15-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
15-yarder, you want to move him back, hopefully out of field goal range, hopefully from Barcelona's.
That's Terrence Wisdom from the New York Jets, and Roger Ruzek won't be too pleased with that. So that's getting a little bit out of his range. It's down to about the 29-yard line.
Now, chop block is when an offensive lineman has a defensive lineman engaged, and then the second offensive line come in and chops him at the waist or lower, and it's illegal. Clock reads 58 seconds. As you can see, upper left-hand corner, they want to change it to 1:08.
Well, from the 25-yard line, it's going to be a 42-yarder for Roger Ruzek, whose long this season is 39, and these are not good conditions for kicking. So the Monarchs will look to try and claw a few of these back. Terrence Wisdom still arguing the call, but he's not going to get it reversed. So 3rd down and long, very long for London. Jones has protection, has a man all the way down to the 11-yard line. Willie Hinchcliffe, Kenny Gales on the stop.
And that's a good play by Willie Hinchcliffe and Preston Jones, because now they've put him in makeable field goal range. It'll be left side of your screen. Good protection by the offensive line. Just delivers the ball nicely. Jones does, goes up, pulls it in, gets hit, holds on to it. I remember last time Ruzek went down after the kick. See if it has an effect on this one. It'll be about 27, 28 yards. Hinchcliffe looks like he may have hurt himself.
Well, he's playing hurt as well. Ruzek looks to convert a 27, 28-yarder. Certainly got the legs, and it's accurate. So the London Monarchs take advantage of the Darren Studstill interception to chalk up another 3 points. And Willie Hinchcliffe getting some treatment on the sidelines. He's got a shoulder problem. He had a finger dislocated last week in the win against Amsterdam as well. Very much in the wars, but very much a part of this offense. That's 3 catches already for the New Zealander. And he certainly paid the price there on that 3rd down and long. Let's take another look.
Goes up high. Now he gets hit. You'll see him get hit right here in the back, but come down also on that right shoulder. See how he's leaning on the right elbow. So just wait. We'll try and get word to you. Don't like to speculate, but that's the play where he got hurt.
So London have managed to chalk up a couple of field goals in this first quarter, and that could be important because offenses are going to struggle. Lionel Taylor inherited an 0-2 team that was in disarray, and he's turned them into a contender.
Jack Bicknell.
Well, we'll just hope his team can stay in contention. Charles Thompson fields at the 9-yard line. Has a blocker, gets past, the first guy, Darrell Crawford, and takes it all the way to the 42-yard line. And there's some bad blood in this game. Some pushing and shoving on the Barcelona sideline. Bryce Burnett involved in the thick of it.
You just see the blocking on the right side. It's important that the runner always follows blocking. See Marshall leading up in that hole. Good hole right there. And he takes it outside. He's got the sideline to work with. Good return by Thompson.
Roel Blenman, the British national player, eventually shoving Charles Thompson out of bounds. But Barcelona working with good field position. Kelly Holcomb trying to bounce back from that interception. On the ground, Charles Thompson with a hole, runs into Rick Newbill. Jeff Hunter with an assist. And that will do it for the first quarter. 6-0 in the rain. London over Barcelona. We'll be back in just a couple of moments.
And now, Bud Light presents World League of American Football Facts. This weekend's matchup of the London Monarchs and the Barcelona Dragons marks the 8th time these teams have met. That's more than any two teams in World League competition. Hey, World League, make it a Bud Light.
Well, you've got to make the best of the conditions, and these cheerleaders certainly putting on a brave face. It is brutal out there on the field and on the sidelines. We're even getting a bit cold up here in the commentary booth as well. 2nd down and 7 for Kelly Holcomb, who has a lot of time and eventually is hit and stays on his feet. And they're ruling that he was stopped. Look like Lewis Capes had the pressure, the British national player. Holcomb with a lot of time.
The guy who had the pressure was Jerry Drake, the left defensive end. He was going against Chuck Bradley. You'll see Drake, number 99. There he is. Drake right here at the bottom of your screen. Now, pretty good job by Bradley, but he kind of pushes Bradley back, and watch him spin here. He spins and gets into him right here, knocks him down, and there's he's down. Good play by Drake.
And a loss of 3 yards. Brings up 3rd down and long for Barcelona. Pressure comes from the outside, and he's down again, and this time it is Lewis Capes. I was premature last time, but Lewis Capes came up with it this time.
Well, you called Lewis Capes last time, and you just knew it was going to happen. He's the right defensive tackle, and you got to have some. You'll see him right side of your screen, number 66. Just a little bull rush, just keeps coming and coming. See him just pushing, finally gets by his man, and there it is.
First sack of the year for the British national player.
Be the right side of your screen, and it's just in a sense a little bit of a coverage sack, because you see Holcomb has time. Maybe should have thrown it away, but he takes a sack.
And hung on to the ball as well. Shane Edge.
Remember the last time?
Yeah. Shanked it. Takes a bounce, which Kenny McIntyre fields and takes to about the 30-yard line before stepping out of bounds. And more trouble on the sidelines. So Alexander wrapped up McIntyre around his neck, and McIntyre took exception to that. Well, this game obviously very important to both these teams, perhaps why there's those high emotions, because it's so close in the race to join the Scottish Claymores in the World Bowl. Any one of those 5 could still go through.
See, after this game, there are going to be 3 teams at 4-4, 2 at 3 and 5. So 5 teams are going to be one game within each other. So those 5 are all trying to qualify for the World Bowl.
And I watched the Rhine Fire last night slaughter the Frankfurt Galaxy, and those guys believe they still have a chance. It really is wide open. Jones fakes the handoff to Russell White, and he has a man. Tony Vincent tries to stay on his feet and does, and will pick up a 1st down just ahead of Kevin O'Brien's tackle. Well, London didn't look like they had a chance of going to the World Bowl 2 weeks ago, but they really have strung things together. Will they make it to the World Bowl against the Scottish Claymores on the 23rd of June?
The reason the Scottish Claymores are there because they had the best record after the halfway mark. And that's one of the qualifiers, and next qualifier who has the best mark at the end of the season. If it's Scotland, then it'll be the 2nd best qualifier. So that's what they're got. Each team 2 more games.
And head-to-head is the first tiebreaker. Points differential comes in after that. So both these teams will be looking to put up some points if they can. Jones has a man. It's Tony Vincent once again, who will get only around 3 this time. Kevin O'Brien wrapped him up.
See, one thing that you've seen Lionel Taylor do is say, look, we're going to get out of that running game a little bit because we just can't push these guys around. So the play action, Vincent's going to release down here, bottom of your screen, come into your screen right here, put the ball away. He's had 2 nice catches in a row. Didn't get a lot of yards, but you can pass. Just really got to concentrate.
London up by 6. Getting close to midfield. On the ground they go this time, and nothing doing at all. Back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Rick Hamilton wrapped up Russell White.
Hamilton, the linebacker, the middle linebacker, they're very active. Tim Simpson, the right guard, pulled to trap the tackle, and Hamilton just read it, filled the hole nicely, and no gain.
It's a strange defense the Dragons have. They don't do anything spectacularly well, but they certainly don't do anything badly either.
First year playing a 4-3. They have played a 3-4 in previous years.
So 3rd down and 7. Jones looks, can't find a man, incomplete. He was looking in the direction of Gaston Green. The pressure came, and Sonny Fexico is going to come out again, and I think we're going to see a lot of the punting units today, which will please Dave Jennings, the former Jets and Giants punter.
Although I wasn't a big fan of punting in the rain. You know, the key thing is to make sure that plant foot keeps you on balance. Sometimes you have to take a little bit off so you can stay on balance. You don't want to put everything into it because you'll go flying.
Marvin Marshall is the return man. Fexico very deliberate with his action and angles off a good kick and just bounces in the water and is down at the 10.
Is that a down football or a drown football?
Mark Montroy will try and claim he downed it, but in fact it was the puddle that stopped the ball, and the Dragons will take over deep in their own territory. In a storm, one fan just taking a little bit of shelter there.
That's standing room only.
Nick Halling and Dave Jennings in the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona. The Dragons trying to splash their way back into the game. They've got a man, it's Terry Wilburn, who gets past the first 3 tackles and will be close to first down yardage. Broke tackles, the first time we've seen the man from Tennessee, Chattanooga, in the ball game.
Notice they ran that to the near side of the field. Up on top, it seems a little more wet where they punted the football the last time. You know, Wilburn and Thompson have combined coming in this game for 33 catches, so he goes to the running backs quite a bit too. 9
yards on the pickup for Wilburn. Brings up a 2nd down and short. Alfonso Browning split wide left. Marshall wide right. Holcomb goes on the ground, and it's 1st down for the Barcelona Dragons. Wilburn once again stopped by Rick Newbill at the 25. And a pickup of 6 yards.
Right there, 89 Burnett had a very nice block playing the tight end on the right side, taking the linebacker downfield. Keep an eye, 89, left side of your screen, just taking on Drake and just taking him downfield. Nice job.
And it gives the Dragons a 1st down at their own 25. On the ground once again, Wilburn wrapped up from behind by Horace Morris, the hitman. And a loss of a yard. Well, Horace Morris comes into this game with 5 sacks and a reputation as a real crowd favorite back in London. They love him.
London leads the World League in sacks with 20, and Morris has a quarter of that. Look at this guy.
Well, at least he's keeping dry.
Talk about the Dragon.
2nd and long. Holcomb has time to find a man. Wilburn looks to try and do something, can't get a lot. 3 yards. Mark Montroy initially stopped him. Kevin Gaines finished him off.
Nick, have you noticed today a lot of times passing downfield, the quarterback can't find a guy open. Receivers just aren't getting open because they can't make the cuts as nicely as they would if it were dry, so they've got to dump it off. So the shorter passing game is generally what will go well in a wet day like today. What?
A 3rd and long for Barcelona, whose offense really has not ignited yet. Holcomb splashes back, gets some pressure, and goes down again. Horace Morris in the thick of it once more.
I think one thing Holcomb has to learn is to throw the ball away. There was good coverage downfield, but Horace Morris lining up defensively on the right side came through and gets another sack. should come from the top of your screen. You see Drake right there. Good job. And here comes Morris. Pulls him down for the sack. Drake in there as well.
It's really quite a pass-rushing tandem, Morris and Drake. Each of them coming into this game with 5 sacks. And a low snap this time for Shane Edge. He's getting a little bit of everything. Kenny McIntyre fields at his 31-yard line, so it remains 6-0 in favor of the London Monarchs. 8:05 remaining first half. We're going to take a short break. Back in a minute. And cold and windy in Barcelona. Nick Halling and Dave Jennings enjoying the action. London, courtesy of a couple of field goals from Roger Ruzek, on top of the Dragons, 6-0. A must-win game for both these teams in week 8 in the World League. And London with a first down at their own 31-yard line, looking to extend that lead. Preston Jones has time to swing past to Tony Vincent, who will pick up just a couple. They are keeping very close tabs on Vincent. Tommy Thigpen with the stop.
Now, one thing that's gone out, you can see the play clock here is not functioning. It has not functioned since middle of the first quarter, so it is being kept on the field. But you wonder how accurately it is. And towards the end of the game, if they're still not working, you can see the team ahead maybe try to milk that a little more than usual.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, weather like this, it's going to start affecting communication. Second and long. Jones has to get rid of it, and it's underthrown. It's looking in the direction of Willie Hinchcliffe. The pressure came straight through from Vince Stewart.
Yeah, I think Stewart maybe got a hand on it. He's lining up defensively, top of your screen. He's going against Lundberg, and he will come in. You'll see him come right there. I think he might have gotten his hand on the ball.
That brings up a third down and long. And apart from that opening drive of the London Monarchs, when they were helped by 3 Barcelona penalties, offenses have done virtually nothing in this game. Very, very difficult conditions. 3rd and 9. Jones pump fakes, then goes the other way, looks for Hinchcliffe. And Hinchcliffe is going to have to do a job there because he had no chance of making the catch, and turned defender on Kenny Gales.
And this week, Hinchcliffe does not commit an offensive pass interference, but Gales just really playing a deep center field or a sideline. Preston, just watch the pump fake right here. Pump fake, but doesn't really work, so he comes back right side. And Gales, you'll see him playing behind the receiver, just goes up and knocks it down.
So out come the punting units once again. Sonny Fexico stands at his own 18. Marvin Marshall will field.
Pretty good kick.
Back at his own 20-yard line. Excellent kick. But once again, there's space here, and all the way up to the 33. A return of 13 yards for Marshall from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Roel Blenman in on the stop. Well, the Dragons have been coached throughout their 4-year history by Jack Bicknell. Previously the head coach at Boston College.
Likes it here in Barcelona. They like him.
Slots
a
right,
lot of success.
860. Why out? Watch the meet. Don't shake. Slots right, 860.
Call him the Cowboy.
El Caballero in Spanish. That's a little Spanish lesson for you there, Dave. Well, he's not been too impressed with what he's seen so far, hasn't El Caballero? The Dragons down by 6 with a first down at their own 34. Holcomb feels the pressure but gets away from it and takes off, and Rick Newbill has to stop him, but Holcomb falls forward and will be very close to first down yardage.
See, again, we've talked about downfield, receivers not getting open. So Holcomb this time, instead of just standing there and saying, well, I'll still try and throw it, I'm going to take off. So he makes a good decision here, gets positive yards, gets the first down, and that's something I think he's got to do a little more of, because receivers downfield they're just not getting open.
A very effective scramble from Holcomb, a young man trying to make a name with himself with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rewrote the record books at Middle Tennessee State. On the ground, Charles Thompson doesn't get much. Rick Newbill, who is a very effective run stopper, stopping, in fact it's Terry Wilburn.
Now, Newbill they keep in the game, even though they go to the nickel. You'll see him react. He's already moving. and 63 can't get to him, makes the center, and 94 Newbill does a nice job. He read the play, read the flow to his left, and he beat Meeks to the point of the block and made the play.
A guy who was cut in pre-season, missed game 1, then came back and already leads the Monarchs with tackles, 41 going into this game, and he's had 2 or 3 more already this evening. That for no gain. 2nd and 10. Holcomb steps up once again and may go again, and does, and will be close to a first down. In fact, he's got it, a pickup of 12 yards. And that's twice on this drive that Kelly Holcomb has kept it alive on his own.
And again, Holcomb making the wise decision. You don't stand back there all day. He's sending his guys downfield. Now you can see him, he's got excellent protection, and no one's open. So he says, all right, it's time to go. Gaines comes up, he gets caught by Nick Smith, but first down yardage for the Barcelona Dragons.
In London territory to the 45-yard line. This time they go on the ground to Thompson. Thompson tries to cut past Sean Crocker, fails to do so, but will pick up around 3 yards.
Keep an eye on number 67. He's the second guy in. He will pull. He is the right guard, and watch him bury this guy right here. Fritz Figuire. Good block. Gain of about 3.5 yards on first down. He alternates with Joe Garton, number 55. Figuire back in the game.
And the ball close to the 40-yard line of the London Monarchs. On the ground again on the draw play. Thompson chased down by Rick Newbill, who brought him down from behind. And Newbill is supposed to be not the fastest linebacker in the league, but showed some speed there.
You don't have to be fast as long as you're quick. But the 4-3 defense is set for the middle linebacker. See him read. He reads and comes off the block. Reaches, gets the feet. Good job by Newbill. He's had a couple of nice plays here.
Got a mouthful of water for his troubles as well.
Lionel Taylor, the head coach, looking on.
A gain of a couple brings up an important 3rd and 4 for the Dragons, who aren't in field goal range yet, and would like to see this drive stay alive. It's a big play for them early in the game. Morris puts the pressure on, but they've got a man, and it's a first down. Sean Crocker eventually on the stop, but Demetrius Davis coming up with an important catch.
Now Horace Morris comes in left side of your screen, and watch Thompson cut him beautifully. See, now we often talk about running backs running and catching, but the third part of their job, they've got to be able to block. Thompson did a really nice job that time on Horace Morris. First down, Dragons.
At the London 33-yard line. Barcelona applying some pressure. Horace Morris went early. Will no doubt try and argue that he was drawn, but that looked fairly clear-cut.
He wasn't in the neutral zone. He was way past the neutral zone.
Smiles from the officials. They know how easy it is. And there's confirmation. Horace just went early that time.
Offside, defense, number 97, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So that goes up against Horace Morris, and the Dragon enjoyed that. He's the driest guy in the stadium, Dave.
I think you and I are.
Well, sometimes the wind blows a little bit in here, you know. So Horace Morris, looking to add to his sack tally there, just went a little bit early. So a first down and 5 for the Dragons. Looking to get on the scoreboard here, second quarter. This will be the last play before the 2-minute warning. And Charles Thompson plows his way to the 25-yard line, where he's stopped. Nick Smith on the stop. And that'll be the 2-minute warning in the first half. The Dragon enjoyed it. We'll be back after this timeout. You're watching the World League.
Whenever you're sent out to pick up a movie, your homecoming could go one of 2 ways. Homecoming A, homecoming.
Next month in Atlanta, the Olympic Games get underway. 4 years ago, it was this stadium in Barcelona that hosted the Olympics. Today it's American football. The Dragons and the Monarchs. Wilburn blasts his way in, takes an official down with him all the way to the 16-yard line and a first down.
That's just excellent blocking at the point of attack right up the middle. See a cut block there by the tight end on Drake. Now keep an eye on the umpire. Whoops.
He's earned his money.
Timeout action here.
The story of the game in terms of yardage, London just about having an advantage, but this has been a useful looking drive from the Barcelona Dragons. It's taken them a while, but the offense finally in sync.
There's the Dragon again.
He's providing great entertainment.
No, he's not going to.
He's enjoying himself.
Is he going to do it?
He's going to do it.
Is he going to do it?
He's going to do it.
Tell the guy in the umbrella, get out of the way.
Here he goes. Whoa! That was a kind of replay of the previous play there when the official went flying. Back on the field, first down from the London 16-yard line. 1:47 left, first half. Barcelona looking to punch this drive in. They stay on the ground again. Wilburn nailed after a couple. Sean Crocker and Nick Smith.
Smith did a nice job playing off the block of Fritz Faguire, number 67. Faguire, number 67, he is the right guard. See him pull there, and watch Smith, 56 in white, play off the block. Right there, plays off the block, makes the tackle. Good job by Nick Smith.
And the clock continues to run. Second down and long for the Dragons. Holcomb gets it off, has a man who is stopped after a pickup of a couple. Looked like Bryce Burnett from the Denver Broncos coming up with his first catch of the evening. And with 1:06 left, Barcelona take another timeout.
Just a quick out here. Now, Holcomb's got plenty of time here. The crossing pattern by Burnett. They take him out of bounds. Now, you can see the official, the line judge there, winding his arm, meaning he's still in bounds. So Barcelona called another timeout.
I mean, slant fade, or whatever you want to do, just be aggressive with it. Well, what are you thinking? Let's go.
Jack Bicknell talking to Dick Curl, his offensive coordinator. So he wants to be aggressive.
Deuce. All right, what do you got, Dick? Slots right. Let's go. 960. Slant fade. Slots right. 960. Slant fade. Come on, kid.
Okay, what you will see is you should see the two tight ends. That's deuce, but they are in slot formation. So you see the two tight ends. You see a fade by the outside receivers, slants by the inside receivers.
Burnett to the left, Davis to the right. He looks first at Davis and then goes the other way. And it's a first down and more. But a flag comes in. Terry Wilburn's taken it to the 5. A pickup of 8, but a flag.
You got either defensive holding in the end zone or pass interference in the end zone. There's a timeout now because of the penalty flag. You see Holcomb doesn't realize that. If it's defensive holding, it'll be a 5-yard penalty. If it's pass interference, it'll be on the 1-yard line. Regardless, it's a first down. 55 seconds, as you can see, left.
First and goal at the 5, and that's before the call for the penalty. This an impressive drive from the Barcelona Dragons. But London's defense has really stiffened up when it's had to in previous games. But a tall order for them here. For the first and goal.
Illegal contact on the defense, number 56. Penalty is declined. First down.
That's Nick Smith, the linebacker. And Jack can stop the clock once more with 55 seconds remaining in this first half.
What do you got, Dick? Beaver right. Come on, baby. Give it a call again. Beaver right. 860. Fade, slant. Fade, slant.
Okay, you see the inside receivers probably running the fade, and the outside receivers running the slant.
Browning and Alalampi, the wideouts. Kenny Shedd in the slot. And they look in the direction of Alfonso Browning. Touchdown, Barcelona!
There's the fade.
With 50 seconds to go in the first half, the Barcelona Dragons have tied it up and will look to go ahead on Scott Zaradi's extra point.
And notice they're going to line it up on the right hash. See how Zaradi's over on the right hash? You're allowed to move it either side. They've moved it out of the middle of the field. They've put it on the right hash where he's got a little better footing. See this right here?
Well, it should be a chip shot. He's had a couple of blocks, mishandled snaps, but no problem for Zaradi. And the Dragons are 7-6 on top.
Okay, Holcomb just going to take it on back. He's looking all the way, sees the fade, three-step drop, throws it outside of the receiver. Nice play. The only guy who can catch this is Browning. Good reaction by the quarterback here. He knows it's caught. He puts the fists up in the air.
And Alfonso Browning, an allocated player from the Washington Redskins, really is the big play guy on this team. That's his 4th touchdown of the game, of the season rather, for the 49ers on their practice squad for a couple of years. Played his college football in Kentucky.
Now, normally what you would see here with 50 seconds to go, you'd probably see a squib kick. Now, I don't know if they'll squib it only because the ball will stop rolling. You know, you hit that squib about 20 yards and it just stops in the water. So I think they'll try to kick it a little deeper here.
Well, Gaston Green has gone back deep with Profile Greer, Green and Greer. Alfonso Browning out there as well. And Pau Cole will kick it. 50 seconds left, first half. Barcelona on top, 7-6.
Yep, kick it deep. Look at this.
And that forces Profile Greer all the way back to about the 2-yard line. Great kick from Pau Cole. Greer looking for blockers, has some room, and is stopped. Still on his feet. Got past the first guy, who was the kicker, Pau Cole, who hit him but couldn't finish him off. And Greer took it out to the 23, and that was a good return from the guy who leads the World League in kickoff returns.
And who made the initial hit? I like this.
It was the kicker.
Absolutely.
But he didn't knock him down.
Well, he stopped him. Just follows his blocker. Nice blocking. Gaston Green with a good block on Burkett.
But look, he let him get away.
For how long?
Oh yeah, this is the kickers and punters union sort of hanging tough here, eh? 39 seconds left for London to try and respond to that 12-play drive from the Dragons.
I'd be surprised if they put it up here.
Having said that, Preston Jones is going to surprise everybody and goes for Ed Howard, who gets it all the way to the 45. And the clock continues to run, and now Preston Jones calls for timeout, but they lost 3 or 4 seconds there. And Howard did well to get past Rodney Thomas, because if Thomas had missed, or in fact Thomas did well to trip Howard up, because if Howard was through, there was trouble.
What do you call on that one? Dog? I tell you what, that's good. I looked at the man was coming in on the dog on the hide. I don't know. He got me coming on the
but you got Lindsay in there. He's running like rough enough.
I know, but ain't the point. Okay, let's go. What you got? What do you feel good with?
Let's go 8 right, double smash.
All right now, let's go.
Sounded like he called a double smash pattern where your receivers run down about 5 yards, start in, and go back out to the sideline.
And a measure of confidence that this team has in Preston Jones. Let him make the call. Willie Hinchcliffe is wide to the right. Ed Howard wide left. London with 28 seconds left, trying to move into field goal range. They swing it out to Vincent, and it was thrown behind him. And in wet and slippery conditions, Vincent couldn't hang on. But that stops the clock.
Footballs used to be brown in color.
That sideline is diabolical.
They can't find it. They can't find it.
can hear the rain there as well. It's been relentless all day. People in Barcelona woke up to this, and it just hasn't stopped. So, second down from their own 45. Jones takes a deep drop, has a lot of time, and just has to swing it out to Vincent again. And Vincent gets past the first guy, but is knocked out of bounds after just a couple from the defensive end, Darren Crine, who came up. And that stops the clock again with 15 seconds to go, and they need a big play to get into field goal range here. Meanwhile, we have an officials conference down on the field.
Tackled him out of bounds, late hit.
And that really is a bad penalty for the Barcelona Dragons to give up. 15 yards there.
They've had a couple of bad penalties today. Now again, you notice how they can't find receivers downfield. Both teams missed tackle here by Middleton, so Vincent takes it upfield. Now he gets out of bounds on the white. Look at this, Crine comes over and just throws him down. I mean, you can hit him, but you can't throw him down, so they're going to call that tackled out of bounds.
Not smart.
Nope.
And if the Monarchs get a field goal out of this, I don't think Darren Crine's going to be going too near Jack McNell in the locker room at halftime.
Well, one positive note for Barcelona, there are only 15 seconds left, so not a lot of time to do stuff. And they're not in field goal range yet.
Although the Monarchs do have 2 timeouts. Hinchcliffe is wide right, Howard wide left. Jones looks in the direction of Willie Hinchcliffe. It's high, and Hinchcliffe was clobbered by Kenny Gales. Did well to hang on, but that sore shoulder is going to ache just a little bit more.
And London will call there another timeout, but I'll tell you, Hinchcliffe did a great job catching that ball. Gale's giving him plenty of cushion here. Top of your screen. See the 15, 20-yard cushion? So Hinchcliffe runs down about 10 or 12, turns. Now look at this. 1, 2, 3. He goes up, pulls it in. That's a heck of a shot. A nice shot by Gales. But look at Hinchcliffe hold on to the football. That's a tough football player right there.
And Willie Hinchcliffe having a big evening in the rain. 4 catches for the New Zealander. And look how he really has blossomed. Once they've given him some responsibility, he's taken it.
I think he's gained some confidence, too. Very fast receiver, tough receiver. He's taking his knocks. And I'll tell you, a shot like that always hurts less when you hold on to the football.
You know, he's a bobsledder and a long jumper and a sprinter, but you can be a long jumper and nobody's coming out of the stands and hitting you like that. And now 5 seconds left, and the Monarchs at the 34, well out of field goal range, even on a good day. Jones has to go for it all, just puts it up in the direction of Ed Howard, and it falls incomplete, and that will do it for the first half. It's been a battle of attrition against the elements as much as anything else. A couple of field goals for the Monarchs, both from Roger Ruzek, and then in the last minute of this first half, Kelly Holcomb to Alfonso Browning. So it's 7-6, the Dragons over the Monarchs at half-time. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi.
Back here in Barcelona, guess what? It's still raining. Nick Halling and Dave Jennings. We've watched a game really by defenses, obviously, and the elements. Neither of these two teams able to get their offenses into sync.
No, we haven't been able to see London run the ball, nor when Barcelona, both teams really, you'll see Holcomb go back to pass. His receivers just not getting open downfield. Now, on this drive here, he decided, I'm going to pull it down and run the football. He did this twice, gained some positive yardage, and had a very good result. But you can see him running for about 10, 15 yards here. And this led eventually, a few moments later, to a nice little fade pattern right side of your screen. 1, 2, 3 step drop, just throw it outside. And Browning was able to see just a little separation here from the defensive back. Pulls it in. Touchdown.
Well, Preston Jones and Kelly Holcomb have both struggled in the elements. Jones, obviously 13 of 21 and 118 yards, has got more yards. Holcomb has been more productive in terms of completions and threw an interception early to Darren Studstill, but has also thrown that touchdown pass. And Kevin Hurst gets the second half off with a squib kick that dies at about the 37-yard line, and Pau Cole, the Spanish national player, covers it up. So that was a little national play there, an Englishman kicking to a Spaniard.
Monarchs coming into this game rushing for a ton of yards the last 2 games. Here they have 12 yards. And really the offensive line just having trouble. I talked about it early on. A little tough for them to block when they're spinning their wheels, so it's tough for Vincent to find any kind of holes. They have passed the ball well. One difference is 1 touchdown versus 2 field goals.
And 3 sacks for the Monarchs. They've been giving Kelly Holcomb a hard time, but Holcomb has responded to the challenge as well. And it's a first down for the Barcelona Dragons when we eventually get a dry ball, which is what we're waiting for at the moment, at about the 37-yard line.
And how long do you think that thing's going to stay dry, Nick?
Until they put it down on the ground.
It's our referee, Mr. Coleman, calling to the London sideline about something, not sure what. Well, they're going to bring a new football on the field, but they decided not to.
So we get underway again with Kelly Holcomb handing the ball off to Charles Thompson, who has a huge hole to run through and still on his feet, and is eventually pushed out by Jeff Hunter after about 16 yards. But there was an acre of running room ahead of Charles Thompson.
One of the reasons the left guard, number 62, Tom Robsock. See him right here, Paul. Now watch him cut 94 Newbill. Watch him cut him right there. What a block. And look at that hole. Thompson takes off downfield. Several missed tackles. Can he stay in bounds? Here comes Hunter, but great block by Robsock, their left guard, number 62.
He's allocated from the Oakland Raiders, and so after their first play from scrimmage of this second half, Barcelona are in London territory. Some movement at the line. It looked like Blaine Berger might have taken a walk early there.
Who was that?
Blaine Berger, number 92. I'm not cracking that joke again. I did it last week, but we'll have to wait and see Walt Coleman's official assessment.
We can read his lips. It says
number 92,
encroachment.
Blaine Berger. And the problems that we've had earlier are definitely, I think, now affecting the referee's mic, because it was open, but we just couldn't hear anything.
Take a look at our penalties so far today. Barcelona got hurt by a couple on that first London drive.
So 5 yards for the encroachment penalty against Blaine Berger. Brings up first down and 5. Holcomb goes on the ground to Charles Thompson again, who's got another big hole and is tackled by Darren Studstill after 8 yards. Mark up another first down for Charles Thompson.
Keep an eye on the H-back, number 85, Jeremy Burkett, left of your screen. See him pull across here. Watch him block 25 gains. Right there. Nice block. Thompson takes it upfield. Studstill on the play. That's what the H-back does. He's a tight end lining up in the backfield, and really he's a blocking back. You'll see him. He's just to the right now of Thompson.
So the Barcelona Dragons threatening again. They finished the first half well. They've started the second half well. And again, they go on the ground. Charles Thompson, a flag comes in from the defensive backfield. Thompson plowed his way forward for about 7. Sean Crocker and Jeff Hunter on the stop, but the flag came sailing in. And it goes against Barcelona, a hold.
They've been running the ball nicely on this drive. Some good blocking downfield, good blocking from their H-back. This will push them back a little bit.
And the Monarchs needed a break. This has not been a good defensive series for them. Well, who was that then?
Was holding. It sounded like he said number 81 downfield. That's Kenny Shedd. It didn't sound. I'm just reading his lips.
Well, it's a 10-yard loss. We have confirmation now that the official's mic is not going to be working.
Got a couple electronic problems. Lionel Taylor, wonder how he's doing getting up to his coaches, but we also have the end zone play clock still not working.
Look at this side.
Lionel's microphone is still working. First down and 20 for Barcelona. Pushed back to London's 45. Thompson looks for a hole through the middle and just can't keep his feet. Blaine Berger completes the formalities after a pickup of around 3.
Spread it out. The nickel defense by the London Monarchs. I think that was an audible to a running play, but London did the job on defense.
And that brings up a 2nd down and long for the Dragons. Demetrius Davis, the H-back, checks out of the lineup. Bryce Burnett, the other dangerous H-back, is in. Marvin Marshall is split wide to the left. Sami Alalampi wide right. Thompson alone in the backfield. Holcomb, it's batted up in the air, and Holcomb's recovered his own tip pass. Lewis Capes got him first, and then he was finished off.
And that, of course, is legal. Once a defensive player touches the football, anybody can catch it.
Jeff Hunter eventually applying the final touch.
You see Capes, 66, puts his hands up. Now Holcomb probably should have just batted it down because he's not going to do much. So Capes gets a knockdown or a knock in the air and a tackle.
So Kelly Holcomb has a pass which is completed to himself.
Exactly. And now, of course, 3rd and about 190. You'd want to pass downfield, but we've seen so far the inability of the ball to get downfield.
It's not quite 190, Dave. It's about 27. But it's still a long way. And Holcomb gets some pressure. He's got a man at midfield. Charles Thompson spins one way. Doesn't fool anybody. Andre Allen, the outside linebacker, stopped him after a gain of about 2. And that'll bring out Shane Edge. So after a promising start on that drive, running the ball with Charles Thompson, the offense of the Barcelona Dragons just faded away in the rain.
Well, let's see what this punt snap is like here. Punting right out of the Dragons. There's Shane Edge, whose first punt snap was high, and he ran with the football. See, he just looked to the guy to his left. See if he punts it to his left.
Kenny McIntyre is standing at about his own 10-yard line.
He tried to go to his left, but shanked it down the middle of the field.
Comes in, and a flag comes in on Kenny McIntyre, which is something you talked about.
Yeah, he had an invalid fair catch that he has done the last 2 games. They haven't called him on it. Now I think they're going to call it here. An invalid fair catch. You have to put your hand up over your head, wave it right to left. You can't just stick it up and pull it down.
And it was a very half-hearted effort, that one, from Kenny McIntyre.
But he's done it the last 2 games. They haven't called him on it, so he's just gotten away with it. Should be an invalid fair catch signal.
Well, that's certainly one of the flags. There's another one back at the line of scrimmage as well.
McIntyre again has used an invalid fair catch signal. I've talked about it last 2 games, but they haven't called it.
Well, the initial assessment seems to be going against Barcelona. Darren Studd still coming off the field, indicating to his teammates that it's going against
now there's
the
another
Dragons.
see there's another flag upfield though, so there are 2 flags.
Yeah, it's an illegal catch against McIntyre, and it looked like an illegal man downfield for Barcelona.
Ineligible receiver downfield.
For 55, we have an illegal fair catch signal on the receiving team, and that penalty will be accepted. 1st down.
These officials have been watching you.
Okay, now he's got to put the hand up, wave it side to side. See, that's not a fair catch. That's an invalid fair catch signal. But he's done it the last couple of games. They haven't called on him, so he could have a logical complaint. Hey, I've been doing that for the last 3 games. You haven't called it. Why all of a sudden you're calling it now?
Well, you can be certain after that, next time Kenny McIntyre will send up a flare or something. So the Monarchs will take over inside their own 10-yard line, and Preston Jones, who's been forced to the air. Barcelona have certainly adjusted very well to the running game, which has dominated for London in the last 2 outings. Tony Vincent, something like 350 yards. Just 12 yards on the ground in the first half.
Very tough for the offensive line to get anything going here.
Horse shit, but that's okay. Tell you what, we're going to spend some time.
And speaking of time, we're going to take a timeout. 10:39 left, 3rd quarter. We'll be back.
Sir, I was wondering if it might be all right with you, that is.
Sir, I'd like to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage. Nothing brings you together like an icy cold mackerel.
Let's go see if your new mother-in-law needs any help in the kitchen,
Looking for something?
Yeah, that dime from Sprint's long-distance plan.
Having trouble finding it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's because depending on when you call, the Sprint cents rate isn't always a dime. It could be a quarter or 65 cents on calls to Canada.
Oh.
Try AT&T True Reach Savings. On average, most people can save more than with Sprint cents when they spend $25 a month on calls in the U.S. Plus, you'll always save more on calls to Canada.
Wow, I found what I'm looking for.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
The Subaru Legacy has the traction to turn a winter storm into a day at the beach. And a day at the beach, well, Subaru all-wheel drive is the ultimate safety feature. It reacts instantly, transferring power automatically from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip. So all you have to do is enjoy the drive. The all-season, all-fun, all-wheel drive Subaru Legacy. The beauty of all-wheel drive.
7-Up attitude.
It's a given. It's the way it makes you feel. It's the lift that you get. It's a rhythm in your step. 'Cause it's cool and it's wonderful and it's lemon and lime. 7-Up. It's an up thing. 7-Up. Does it every time. It's clear and it's wonderful and it's totally fine. 7-Up. Hey, it's an up thing.
Where is the one place to carbonate your brain?
For drama and romance, Picket Fences really hits the mark.
Officer down.
Picket Fences on FX.
Jim.
Back in Barcelona, Nick Halling, along with the former Jets and Giants punter Dave Jennings. The London Monarchs, with 10:39 left in the third quarter, trailing the Dragons by a point in a game that both teams have to win to keep their World Bowl hopes alive. The winners very much in the picture, the losers in trouble. And Tony Vincent has been the story for London in the last 2 weeks with his 350 yards on the ground, but today he is no factor at all yet. And some of that's got to be down to the elements, but some of it's got to be to the adjustments that the Dragons defensively have made. Now they try to get something going with Vincent, and he just runs into trouble and will pick up maybe 3 if he's very lucky.
So I think in this, and we talked about at the top of the show, and you can look at the footing right there. They just can't get their footing. Look at Heinrichs, number 92, gets into his man, and they can't push him. Also, Crying can't push him. See, they can't push these guys out of the way because it's kind of like, and I said this earlier, pushing a car that's stuck in a snowbank and you're on ice. Your feet just slip. Interesting, they moved the ball over to the left hash for them.
Second down and 8, and Jones drops to pass this time. And he's looking for Lindsey Collins, who makes a nice low catch down by his ankles, but will be short of first down yardage. Michael Wright came over with the stop.
Okay, Collins, so, he runs downfield. Now, see the reaction time, and also the defensive back just playing way off. Collins wide open. Pass was low. If it had been a little higher, he could have gotten a few more yards.
And he's about half a yard short of a first down. He's had touchdown receptions in his last 2 games, and London looking to convert for the first time in this ball game. Jones is going to go upstairs, and it's tipped. Otherwise, Vincent had it. Looked like the pressure came from, or the tip came from Vladimir Illich, a German national player.
Keep an eye on number 74 in green. That's Vladimir Illich, 74 right here. Now, he doesn't get penetration, but a good defensive lineman puts up the hand and just gets a tip on it. He just got his finger on it and changed the direction of the ball. So Mexico comes in to punt.
And doesn't that show you London's lack of confidence on the ground? They needed half a yard and decided to pass. And Sonny Fexico will kick it away to Marvin Marshall. Good high kick from Fexico. Marshall fields to the 40. The flag comes in straight away. And Marshall is down by Horace Morris, but he's into London territory unless that flag pulls it back.
Yeah, the side judge called it in the area of the gunner or the hawk, the wide receiver, splits to the left side coming downfield. He may have been held up illegally. See, they are calling holding, but it's probably a post-possession foul. In other words, the ball was kicked and then the hold occurred. So Barcelona will retain possession, but there should be a 10-yard penalty. See, it happened after the kick. If it happened before the kick, it would be a first down for London, but they're going to move Barcelona back.
From London's 45-yard line, they're going to march it all the way back to about the 39.
On the return team, during the kick, 10 yards from the change of possession spot, first down.
And that really hurts Barcelona, who've taken it into London territory, and they've been marched all the way back inside their own 30-yard line. We're going to take a break. We're back in just a moment.
Looking for something?
Yeah, that dime from Sprint's long-distance plan.
Having trouble finding it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's because depending on when you call, the Sprint cents rate isn't always a dime. It could be a quarter or 65 cents on calls to Canada.
Oh.
Try AT&T True Reach Savings. On average, most people can save more than with Sprint cents when they spend $25 a month on calls in the U.S. Plus, you'll always save more on calls to Canada.
Wow, I found what I'm looking for.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
Hey, is that thing on in there? All right, you ready for some real action? Let's go,
The World League of American Football. There's nothing else like it. Now, official World League products are available in the U.S. only through this exclusive offer. Call 1-800-635-4438 to own the colors of the London Monarchs, Scottish Claymores, Amsterdam Admirals, Frankfurt Galaxy, Rhine Fire, and the Barcelona Dragons. Replica jerseys in official team colors only $39.99. T-shirts only $14.99. World League football $69.99. And assorted team hats only $14.99. Remember, all teams are available. So call 1-800-635-4438. This is your only opportunity to buy official World League products. Don't miss it. Call now with your credit card order or write to the address on your screen. Refer to source number 001747 on all orders.
This is it. He's out of there!
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
That was only the first out of the game.
Make it a Bud Light.
That's a real beaver?
And still the rain comes down in Barcelona. The Dragons leading the Monarchs 7-6, so a big defensive stand coming up for the Monarchs, who've really turned the corner defensively since Bob Zeman returned in week 3 as their defensive coordinator. And the D needs to come up big time here. Holcomb hands it off to Charles Thompson, who is nailed. The fridge was in on the play. Jerry Drake may have been the first man there, and a gain of a yard. The defense has played a pretty solid game tonight under Bob Zeman, apart from just that one drive.
Not there. Gentleman right there in the center of your screen, Bob Zeman came in. He did two things. He moved Hunter out to defensive end. You can see him call the signals. And here are some of the changes. Fewer points, fewer yards, fewer passes. And look at the sacks. They went from 3 to 17. Now, there are more games, obviously, but he also changed up the pass coverage of the defensive secondary.
And they have 3 more sacks to add to that. That was going into today, so 20 sacks. Holcomb has a man, and it's dropped. Incomplete pass. Mark Montroy came up and made sure there was no catch, and that brings up a 3rd and long.
Zeman, very quiet, reserve guy. He has gained a huge amount of respect. These players talk about him, the adjustments he makes, the defense he knows. And he called it a little late only because he's looking at the personnel on the field.
Sure he wasn't calling for an umbrella? Yeah. 3rd down and 9 from the 30. Holcomb looks, and it's too high. Demetrius Davis feels he should have had a piece of it. He got one hand up. Kelly Holcomb went down, and the punting unit is back on for Barcelona.
As I said in the beginning of the game, you can pass in this kind of weather, but the one thing this weather does, it does hold down the scoring. And look at where Shane Edge is punting out of. Look, he's right in that puddle. He can't move it outside anymore. They can't move it. It's on the left hash. Look at this puddle he's in.
Well, it was a puddle. It's turning into a lake. Nothing wrong with the snap. Edge gets off a wobbly kick. McIntyre fields at his 35, and it is downed. Good solo special teams play there from Kenny Shedd. But the Monarchs will have it at about their 30-yard line. Well, plenty of big games around the league yesterday. The Rhine Fire opened up a 21-point lead against Frankfurt in the first quarter and just blew away the Galaxy, who are in terrible trouble. And Amsterdam have probably put themselves in pole position for that second World Bowl berth now by beating the Scottish Claymores.
Yeah, I think the team that's going to win these last 3 straight will be the team that gets to the World Bowl. And Amsterdam has taken off with their first win. Hey, Ryan could sneak in there too. Probably come down to tiebreaker.
The Rhine Fire are not out of this. None of these teams are out of it. First down. Preston Jones pitches it back. London still trying to get the running game going, and it's just not happening for Tony Vincent. Tommy Thigpen with the penetration. Interesting
play by Thigpen because he gets blocked low, but he goes over the block, plays it nicely. Keep an eye. He'll come into your screen from the left. See him go over Green. He dives over Green and makes the play. That's a heck of a play by Thigpen. Gaston Green with a good block, but Thigpen just with a better play.
And you can take another 2 yards off the output for Tony Vincent. A loss of 2 brings up second and around 12. On the draw play, Vincent this time manages to get past the first tackle, but the second guy gets him, and a pickup of just 3. Darren Crine on the stop. And Vincent is working hard for every yard.
Darren Crine with a bad knee. You'll see him left side of your screen come into the play, reading the draw. Now he's got to go outside. There's 56 making the play. Rick Hamilton forced him to go outside. Hamilton number 53 and Crine waiting for him.
Just back to the line of scrimmage, 3rd and long for Preston Jones and the London Monarchs, whose offense has been virtually non-existent. Jones gets pressure, flags come in, and Jones just gets rid of it, and there's flags
Chris
everywhere.
Lundberg is called for holding here, which they will probably turn down because it'll be a punting situation. But 71 called for holding.
Preston Jones was called for an intentional grounding earlier, as the second flag came in as well. There's the hold.
Holding, offense, number 71. Penalties decline, 4th down.
Keep an eye right side of your screen, 71 right tackle. See him get his arm up. See him, he just claws him right there. That's Heinrich coming in. That's a clear hold. Turned down. Should be 4th down. It was turned down, so they'll punt the football away.
Sonny Fexico once again. Marvin Marshall at about his 25. Sonny gets off a low kick that dies. Marshall picks it up at the 29 and gets past the first guy and gets past Tim Simpson. Sonny Fexico brings him down with a high tackle. And Sonny Fexico is a big punter. He's 6'3" and about 225, and he will get involved. Did you ever get in the middle of one of these, Dave?
None of my punts were returned. Now this is a good job, a real good job by Marshall, because he sees that he can pick it up. You see Marshall top of your screen. Now watch, this ball never gets real high. It doesn't get real high, it dies. Now a lot of guys will just let this hit, but he realized because not much hang time, comes up, gets outside, gets away from one guy first, 24. And watch number 4. Watch the punter come in here. Look at this.
This is, you've been waiting all season
look at
for
this.
this.
That's a heck of a tackle.
And it was a legal tackle.
Sure it was.
You know, Sonny Fexico played linebacker at high school and once had 27 tackles in a game, so he says, and you can see why. 27 tackles in a game. Well, who'd be a center, huh? Barcelona with a first down on their own 43. Charles Thompson runs into Andre Allen after a couple. That'll bring up a second down and long. I don't know if this is great defense or two offenses that are just bogged down in the mire.
Well, that's one thing that the conditions do. It just makes it more difficult to move the football. Look at Garton. He comes in. He's got white pants. Look at that.
I tell you, anybody who comes out of
Look at the guy next to him. 76 Bradley. He's got the dark pants because he's been playing in the mud the whole game. Garton comes in second and third quarter. Like, there's the rain.
It's going to rain forever here. There's no sign of it letting up at all. Second down. They stay on the ground with Thompson once again, who's got some running room and will be close to first down yardage. Looks like he's been brought up just short by Jeff Hunter, but very close.
What do they say about the rain in Spain?
Falls mainly in the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona. Well, Charles Thompson having a better day than Tony Vinson. Those are pretty good numbers.
Although his total yardage for the season doesn't match Vinson's total yardage for the last 2 games.
This is true. Third and about a yard. And the Dragons would love to convert this. Just to put a bit more pressure on. Thompson gets the call again and does just about enough. He was gang tackled, a swarming defense led by Rick Newbill and Darren Studstill, but I think he's got it.
Not going to measure first down. Now, in a 43 defense, your middle linebacker, number 94, he should make most of your plays. See him fill the hole, see him make the hit. He's the number 1 tackler. Your 43, your 4-3 defense, your middle linebacker should be your key guy. But they got the first down anyway.
Needed a yard and just got it. So Holcomb works a 1st and 10 in London territory. The ground again. Charles Thompson has a lot of running room, picks up something like 7 or 8 yards. Rick Newbill eventually on the stop.
You know, these teams have kind of changed identities because Barcelona has become the running team. Now left side of you, he'll take off up the middle and cut back to left to Allen coming in from the outside. There's Newbill, but 7-8 yards downfield, not good enough. Good job by the offensive line.
Charles Thompson igniting the worst rushing attack in the World League. Over 50 yards now. They only get about 56 yards per game.
One of the reasons being they pass so much.
Second and short. Good down this for Kelly Holcomb. But he plays it safe and gives it back to Charles Thompson, who bounces off the first guy. Rick Newbill eventually goes in there. Mark Montroy, and that'll be third and very short for the Dragons. But a good second effort from Thompson, who was stopped initially. And it's really very simple for the Barcelona Dragons. If they can keep Charles Thompson grinding out 4 or 5 yards a carry, they're going to control the game.
Difference in those numbers.
Well, that's the story. Just a 1-point lead to show for it, but Charles Thompson goes straight through the middle. Kevin Gaines eventually on the stop, but chalk up 7 yards, and he wasn't touched until he hit Gaines.
Well, the offensive line really coming off the football nicely, opening up a big hole. It seems though they watch the offensive line here. Watch them get off the ball. They beat London off the ball that time, and that's why Thompson had a big hole.
Well, London's defense, their defensive front so hostile. Worth pointing out that Blaine Berger is out of there at the moment.
Your guy.
Thompson once again spins past the first tackler and will pick up 4 or 5 good yards again. Darren Studstill coming up from safety. Andre Allen on the assist. Meanwhile, Blaine Berger getting some treatment from the medical staff. He's got something in his eye. They've given Charles Thompson about 3 yards. We'll make it a 2nd down and 7. But Thompson is effectively moving this ball deeper and deeper into London territory. And again, it's on the ground. Thompson gets past the first guy and the second guy, not the third guy. He's dropped for a loss of about 4. Jeff Hunter eventually finished him off.
talked
Kevin
about
Gaines
getting
was
off
there.
the football by watch 99 left view screen. He just gets off, meets him in the backfield, doesn't make the play, but forces Thompson to go away from his blocking. And now he gets some help.
They may just get one more playoff before the third quarter comes to an end, down to the last 10 seconds. And somebody's decided to play It's Raining Again. Stadium announcer with a sense of humor. Now, will they get this playoff? No, they don't. That'll do it for 3 quarters of wet football. The Barcelona Dragons continue to lead the London Monarchs 7-6. We'll be back in a moment.
So why did you leave AT&T?
I fell for the gimmicks.
And
I'm disappointed. I miss AT&T.
AT&T misses you too. So we're making it easy to come back.
Anything that makes my life easier, I'm for it.
How does up to 100 free AT&T minutes sound?
I like free minutes.
We'll send you AT&T long-distance certificates good for up to 100 free minutes, just for switching back to AT&T.
100 free minutes, I'm there.
There's more. Only AT&T customers can get AT&T True Reach savings. Spend $25 a month and you save 25% to anyone, anytime, anywhere in the U.S. You're covered on every type of call on your AT&T phone bill.
What more could you ask for?
How about this? AT&T puts your savings in black and white.
What have I got to do to come back to you guys?
All you have to do is call 1-800-GET-TRUE, and you'll get up to 100 free AT&T minutes. So, what do you think?
I think we'll switch.
Good decision.
Thank you.
You know what to do.
That's your true choice, AT&T. Lost and Found, hooking up the planet one reunion at a time. Because all the people we've cared for in the past don't have to stay there. Lost and Found, weekends at 8, 7 Central, only on FX.
Here on FX, we've planted a seed.
So you can learn what you need to know about the things that grow.
Watch Garden Variety on FX, your home guide to the world of gardening.
Made easy.
Jeff Probst is your host.
I'll ask what, when, and how to plant.
And Cassandra Dance is our FX gardening guru.
I'll teach you how you can nurture nature.
Plus a whole bunch of down and dirty gardening tips.
Just let's try to be a little sophisticated.
Garden Variety premieres tomorrow at 3:30, 2:30 Central, only on FX.
It'll grow on you.
On FXM, movies from Fox. This June, every Friday in drama, it's the FXM Spotlight, celebrating the film career of Richard Widmark.
Once and for all, we've got to show.
He was a dark hero, dangerous, cocky, a wise guy with a killer smile. 4 riveting Fox dramas, 4 signature Widmark performances. The FXM Spotlight is on. Call your cable operator about this new movie network today.
Today's game has been brought to you by Bud Light, official sponsor of the 1996 Summer Olympic Games. Make it a Bud Light. And by Advil, advanced medicine for pain. And by 7-Up, it's an up thing. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team.
It's been a tough night for both these teams offensively. The rain obviously not helping matters at all, but ominous signs for the London Monarchs. The Dragons starting to move the ball, and in these conditions, moving the ball on the ground is a recipe for winning football. The Barcelona Dragons facing a 3rd down and long. Kelly Holcomb looking to keep this drive alive. Pressure comes up the middle. Holcomb gets away from A.J. Jenkins, and he's going to take off on his own and will be very close to a first down. Sean Crocker in on the stop.
He's going to be short, and this is an interesting call. I would think Barcelona might go for it here. Might ask for a measurement to determine how short it is. Now they're going to send a kicker on the field.
In a game like this, every point counts.
Well, if you kick the 3-point field goal, you give them a 4-point lead and force London to have to think about touchdown instead of a field goal to put them ahead.
It's a long field goal in these conditions. Going to be 41 yards for Scott Zarady.
He's had 2 in the 40 so far, 44 and a 47.
And had a couple of blocks as well.
Now I think they're going to go for it. They're taking them off the field.
And the crowd enjoyed that.
Now they're going to call a timeout.
And now Jack's going to think about it and work out his options. So while Jack Bicknell ponders his options, we're going to take a timeout as well. We're back in a minute.
Testing for your love.
Barry White, checking for love. The Love King. Can't get enough of your love, babe. I love you, man.
I love your style.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
I had it right in my hand. You saw it.
You know, I knew Advil was good. But this good? I was just in the dentist chair. Big time pain. What does my doctor recommend? Not the prescription pain reliever you'd expect, but Advil. Come on, Doc. Advil works better than a prescription. You know, it did. Advil's that good.
On tough dental pain, 2 Advil work better than any 2 extra-strength Tylenol. Even better than 2 tablets of Tylenol with codeine.
Advil just works better.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
7 Up attitudes.
It's a given. It's the way it makes you feel. It's the lift that you get. It's a rhythm in your step, 'cause it's cool and it's wonderful and it's lemon and lime. 7 Up. It's an up thing. 7 Up. Does it every time. It's clear and it's wonderful and it's totally fine. 7 Up. Hey, it's an up thing.
Check out the hottest alternative music online.
This week on Back Chat, we check out the career of Helen Hunt.
We also meet Leroy Seuss, Dr. Seuss's weird cousin.
And we celebrate our 2nd anniversary! That's Back Chat, today, 4/3 Central.
Tonight on Lost and Found, it started with a campfire.
We decided, let's go over to that other bonfire because it looks like they're having a big party over there.
Reunited with an old flame. Hooking up the planet one reunion at a time. Lost and Found, tonight, only on FX.
14 minutes left in the ball game. Barcelona leading by a point and facing a 4th and 1. Jack Bicknell deciding not to go for a 41-yard field goal.
No, I think the conditions are such that he just doesn't have the confidence. Now see if they go with the quarterback sneak here, or they could, and it's wide open right now to the left of the center.
Holcomb needs a yard on 4th down. They give it to Wilburn, who is stopped, but the second effort gets him through for 3 or 4 yards. He was stopped initially, but the second effort, the story there.
Yes, he was. See a good line surge here. Turning 79, turns in 75 nicely. Gets hit right there. Stud still hits him. Allen appeared hit him. They double team the nose tackle. He gets hit right there. Couldn't catch the number, but he just kept going.
So a 1st down at the 20. Barcelona ahead by a point. They give it to Wilburn again, who's got running room again, and almost broke it. It's going to be close to 1st down yardage. Sean Crocker on the stop, but Wilburn was close to breaking it.
You know, London came into this game 5th against the 5th defensively against the run, and I think Barcelona has caught up on that because they're opening some holes. You can see they brushed the ball for, you know, almost twice as many times as they passed it.
They've adjusted to the elements. London, the running team, has come out passing. 8 yards for Wilburn. 2nd and 2 at the 12. Wilburn again trips through the middle for a 1st down. A gain of 3. Jerry Drake, Kevin Gaines, Rick Newbill, they were all there, but not until Newbill had picked up the, Wilburn had picked up the 1st down.
Lionel Taylor not used to seeing the running team being the opposing team. He's used to seeing his guys run the ball.
And another factor, Barcelona going up against a team that takes the ball away. There was that early interception, but apart from that, it's been a very clean game.
In the last 2 weeks, London has kept their own defense off the field. Well, today their defenses have been on the field quite a bit, and they're probably getting tired by now.
1st and goal from 10 yards out. Wilburn gets met, still on his feet, but eventually Blaine Berger brought him down. A loss of a couple of yards. There was nowhere to go.
Oh, Allen, number 55, the linebacker, and Drake, number 99, the left defensive end. You see the defensive end right side of your screen come in. Also 55 right there, misses a tackle. But a good job by 55-99. Top of your screen, 99. Gets by Bradley. There's Allen. Drake underneath Bradley. Good job.
And a 3-yard loss. 2nd and goal from the 13. Holcomb dropping to pass. Gets hit, loose ball, and it looks like Holcomb has recovered his own fumble. Blaine Berger applying tremendous pressure up the middle, but another loss of yardage.
Again, receivers can't get open downfield. We haven't called the tight ends a lot, but you see Holcomb looking downfield, looking for his tight end here. Nothing, loses the ball there. Unfortunately for him in Barcelona, he dives on it. Always important that when the ball is loose, don't worry about running with it. Get possession first. How many times do you see a player try to pick it up and run and never get control of it? So good job by Holcomb.
Well, they're halfway to an excellent stand here, the Monarchs. They've pushed it back 8 yards.
No first downs for them here except by penalty.
3rd and goal at the 18, and another botch. And who's got that? It looked like Holcomb may have got there first.
So they're going to set up a 37-yard field goal attempt here.
And that's an excellent stand defensively from London, with some help from the conditions again, it has to be said.
Probably pulling out without the ball. Meeks, and there's the ball on the ground. But again, Holcomb just getting it quickly. Look at 94 Newbill get in there.
And it's going to be a 38-yard field goal attempt from Scott Serrady. Holcomb frustrated, but as you said, Dave, did the smart thing both times. Just covered it up. And a chance for a 4-point lead.
That's the big point here.
Serrady. It was touched, but it made it. No, it's wide. It's wide.
Wide left.
Well, Jack Bicknell said, I just don't have the confidence that we can get the whole thing done. And it's wide, so we still have a 1-point ball game, 10 minutes left.
Looking for something?
Yeah, that dime from Sprint's long-distance plan.
Having trouble finding it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's because depending on when you call, the Sprint Cents rate isn't always a dime. It could be a quarter or 65 cents on calls to Canada.
Oh.
Try AT&T True Reach Savings. On average, most people can save more than with Sprint Cents when they spend $25 a month on calls in the U.S. Plus, you'll always save more on calls to Canada.
Wow, I found what I'm looking for.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
Feeling like virtual reality bites?
Have a Butterfinger Blast!
One crispy, crunchity bite will shatter your senses.
Crunchity!
Have a Butterfinger Blast from Nestle.
Wines this good must be guarded with care. That's why Franzia comes in an airtight pouch that protects the fresh taste to the last glass. Maybe that's why it's America's favorite wine.
Whenever you're sent out to pick up a movie, your homecoming could go one of 2 ways. Homecoming A, homecoming B. To avoid B, give them a choice. Bring home a safety video. Blockbuster has thousands of videos to guarantee your success. Unless your safety video is, say, a documentary on the physiology of fungus. Fungus, Fred?
Fungus.
Make it a Blockbuster night.
Hi, I'm Emmett, and I'm a cowboy. This is my hat. These are my boots. These are my horses. This is where they graze. And this is my ranch. No matter whose brand is on the front gate. This is my territory. This is my zone. This is my planet.
They crawl, they hop, they slither, they're pets, and they won't be stopped! Unless you watch The Pet Department, only on FX. If you miss it, be very afraid.
The Dragons ahead of the Monarchs by a point in a game vital to both teams. The loser here really will have an uphill battle to go to the World Bowl. It's so tight in the race to join the Claymores. Any one of those 5 teams can join the Claymores in the big game, but it's very, very close and nobody can afford a loss. So can the Monarchs get something going here on the ground where there's just been nothing happening for them all night long? Tony Vincent has been shut down. The London running game has been non-existent. Rick Hamilton in on the stop.
Keep an eye on number 91, Kevin O'Brien. He's left outside, the strong linebacker. Fights off Titley nicely. See how he fights him off? Fights off another block. Look at this, and makes the tackle. Fights off the block of Titley and Simpson. Good job by O'Brien. Look at this difference. Wow.
Unbelievable. 2nd and 10. Straight away, they're into a passing down. And there's trouble, and he's got it off to Vincent, who can't get past the first tackler there, Rick Hamilton. And you think of the yards after the catch that Vincent made against Amsterdam last week, and the yards sort of breaking tackles. That's not happened tonight. Barcelona have shut him down.
Well, they've shut down the running game, which has been a big key. Crine right there making a good job putting pressure on the quarterback. They've just made more plays today than London has.
And it's 3rd and long. About 7 yards to go. And London have yet to convert a 3rd down tonight. And this is a difficult one. Jones drops, has time, and is hit. And goes down. He waited too long. He just couldn't find an open receiver.
Ivan Imbernon with the play.
And that's the hugely popular
66,
Spaniard.
Right side of your screen. Little game inside. See, a little stun inside. He was playing defensive end. Top of your screen, 66 comes inside, has a clear shot at the quarterback.
And when a pocket closes, it closes in a hurry. And when you're Ivan Imbernon blasting your way through there, it closes very quickly. A man from the Barcelona Boxers, his first sack as a professional. So once again, we see Sonny Fexico and Marvin Marshall. Fexico gets it off. Marshall has to backpedal, hangs on at the 25. Mark Montroy slips. Flag comes in. Marvin Marshall still on his feet down to about the 37-yard line. Roel Blenman, number 21, eventually on the stop, but we'll have to look at the flag. And the early assessment is against London.
Usually in the area of an ineligible receiver downfield.
And there it is. And with just over 8 minutes remaining, the Dragons are going to have the ball in good field position.
I think they're going to have to punt it again because of the long punt. They'll probably make them punt it again.
There's the Barcelona local, the local hero, the man they call champion. Oh, what a moment for him. His first ever sack. And there's Sam Clancy, the former Cleveland Brown, who had a few sacks in his day, joining in the congratulations.
Barcelona did accept the penalty, make Fexico punt over again. You know, you asked about Fexico and why he has a lot of return. When you saw that punt, a low-line drive, that was a long kick, but it got down there so fast that London couldn't even cover it. And a good return.
And all being well, and that's a big if, the Barcelona Dragons will have excellent field position here. And it's another line driver straight to Marvin Marshall at about the 45. And he's got 15 yards on the return already and still on his feet. And all the way down to the 37-yard line. And the Dragons have excellent field position with which to try and build on this slender one-point lead with just over 8 minutes remaining in the ball game.
The Colgate Plus toothbrush meets old Squarehead.
At first, it was hard being the odd-looking toothbrush. But it's my dual bristle design and diamond-shaped head that helps me clean teeth and massage gums so well. And so comfortably. No Squarehead could beat that. So, my neighbor moved out, and Peggy moved in.
Colgate Plus, the odd-looking, super-cleaning, comfy-feeling toothbrush.
Che bella cosa la dolce vita, volare la noche caliente en su esplendor suave.
God bless America. 100% cotton, cut for comfort. Fruit of the loom. Really, really comfortable underwear.
Hi, I'm Peter Graves. Your mission is to watch FX. That's TV with you in mind.
Every town has its share of conflict.
I'm a transsexual.
Well, my daughter's in his class.
Every town has its share of tragedies.
Is he going to die?
Dear God in heaven. And through all the struggles,
I don't even know who you are anymore.
every family must find a way to triumph.
The good in this world still outweighs the evil.
The people, the problems, the solutions. Take a look beyond the picket fences. Weekends at 7, 6 Central on FX.
Hi, I'm Claire Carter.
And I'm John Burke.
From Personal FX.
The collectible show. How do we make TV fresh daily? Well, every day in our FX apartment and on the road,
We put people,
the things they treasure,
a few experts,
and all you out there,
together.
and then we shake it up a little.
It's for sale.
It's worth about $350.
Ding! So, Personal FX, made fresh daily. 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific, only on FX.
Are you ready for tomorrow?
Here in Barcelona, Nick Halling and Dave Jennings, and still the rain comes down. I said before the game kicked off, it looked like it was going to rain all night long, and I think it is. First down, Barcelona leading 7-6 with excellent field position at London's 37. They stay on the ground. Terry Wilburn has a hole, gets a first down, and a lot more knocked out of bounds at about the 20.
Boy, that left side of the offensive line, Rob Sock, age. They're just coming off the ball a lot better. Tight end holding up, 75 Hunter. Look at that. They've just worn down the defense of the London Dragons. That's apparent now.
And Wilburn checks out limping.
Although they haven't been able to finish it off. They've taken it down this half, but not been able to get into the end zone.
Well, when you think the Monarchs have done nothing offensively the second half, to still just be a point adrift is quite an achievement. Thompson gets it, runs into trouble, goes down, will lose a couple of yards. Blaine Berger in on the stop.
Who was that?
I'm not going to say it. Not a good night to be a player. Not a very good night to be a cheerleader. How can you still be smiling after being out here getting soaking wet for 2.5 hours?
I'm smiling.
Second and long. The Monarchs defense looking to hold yet again. Charles Thompson turns the corner, cuts up to the front, inside, down to the 10. That'll be very close to first down yardage before Nick Smith stopped him. And once Thompson had turned the corner, there was no one within 5 yards of him.
Watch 85, Jeremy Burkett, the H-back. You'll see him left side of your screen. Watch him come across and pick up Newbill right there. And then he cuts outside. Good job. Nice play right there.
They've marked him a yard short.
27. Flagged him.
Good play from Studstill. It's a short yard.
I wonder if they got that fade here.
Well, they only need to get it to the 10-yard line. As you can see, it's very nearly there. And the keeper, if Kelly Holcomb's taken the ball with him, that will be a first down.
Both cornerbacks playing well off the receivers. That's why the fade doesn't go there. This quarterback sneak, and they'll call a timeout while they measure.
But they just have to get it to the 10-yard line, and if that's the spot, they really, I'm sure, they don't need to measure this. So 5:37 remaining. The chains are out. Let's see if they've made it. Looks like they're short. Well.
See, I think you might have been looking at the chains up on top on the Barcelona sideline. They show it's a first down, but they brought in the ones from the near sideline, which are the official ones, which we can't see as well.
Because the marker on the far sideline is exactly on the 10-yard line.
But it's not official.
So it's 4th and inches. And they're going for it. Holcomb with the keeper, dropped the ball, and Nick Smith was round there, but a second effort from Holcomb.
Well, the line judge coming in They're going to have to measure this. That's a good job by Holcomb, getting the ball back up and getting over. See where they measure it.
Well, Nick Smith's come up with the ball as well. Oh, this is a very important spot for both these teams.
We can't see where they've spotted it, so we just can't tell you, folks.
Well, the Dragons players are saying first down, but Holcomb doesn't seem too happy. Well,
ball appears to be almost in the same spot,
yeah,
but remember how close it was.
Yes,
so
it's
just
very close.
Just waiting.
It's the flip of a coin here, and everybody watching. And it looks like it's short.
Wow.
The Monarchs have held firm. The defense has stood up once again, and Jack Bicknell can't believe it.
Now watch Holcomb not get the ball here. The snap comes up from Meeks. Well, it never really came up, and there it is on the ground, but he does a good job picking it up and then diving over. And here it's the judges, the side judge, the line judge, they're the ones who look at it, and they come across. Now you see where his helmet is, but the ball is not close to where his helmet is. Now the only problem is 5:35. London's got to go. They don't have to go all the way because they're only down by 1 point, but they got a long way to go, and their running game hasn't gone.
Best part of 91 yards for Preston Jones, who's been shut down completely this half. Goes upstairs, and it's incomplete. Tremendous effort and a one-handed catch from Ed Howard, but it's incomplete. Michael Wright had the coverage.
See, Howard's on the right side of your screen. Jones just dropped straight back. Good protection, but he's covered pretty well. This would be a pretty tough catch.
And he made a great effort.
Yep.
And Wright just made sure he didn't finish it off. So second down and 10. And Jones goes over the middle. He's got Larry Wallace. His first catch of the day. It's going to be very close to a first down. Chris Crooms had the coverage. Larry Wallace recovering still very slowly from that foot injury.
They gave him the first down, folks.
Jones just swings it out into the flat. Tony Vincent is just going to get nothing tonight. Tommy Thigpen has made sure of that. Thigpen has had Vincent's number tonight.
Good shoestring tackle. Very tough to get out of those.
And the Monarchs moved the ball reasonably effectively through the air in the first half, but there's just been nothing for them in the second half. And while Barcelona have enjoyed tremendous territorial advantage, they haven't put anything on the board either.
Nope.
Kelly Holcomb failed on 2 attempts at a quarterback keeper to convert a yard. And will that come back to haunt the Dragons?
It will if London scores here. They've got a long way to go. Again, they don't have to get it all the way down. They've just got to get into field goal range.
Please reset the clock to 4-2-8, please. 4-2-8.
And that's how long is left in the ball game. 4 minutes and 28 seconds. Barcelona leading the Fridge and the London Monarchs 7-6 in a game that both sides desperately need to win. And you know what? This rain just got heavier, if that's possible. It's just torrential now.
Look at these guys.
I mean, whatever they're paying these guys, it's not enough. This is above and beyond the Call of Duty.
Look at this.
That's just ridiculous.
Imagine trying to run around the track in a track meet.
Imagine trying to pass in it. Imagine trying to run in it. You know, all things considered, these two teams have played a pretty decent game when you consider the opportunity for turnovers.
When's the last time you think that couple moved?
They'll never move again. Jones swings it out into the flat again. Vincent hangs onto it, but won't pick up much at all. They just strung him out. Michael Wright was there.
Now, I think the one key today in the passing game has been the inability of the quarterbacks to find receivers downfield. They've had to dump it off short, and that really hasn't worked.
Let's run the 3 route on this side. 3.
And Lionel Taylor knows that his team needs to convert here. 3rd and 11 with just over 4 minutes remaining. And time is running out for the Monarchs. The pressure's coming. Jones has got a man, Mike Titley, but it's well short. It's about 3 yards, but there is a flag. Chris Crooms on the stop. Well, flags hurt Barcelona in the first half. Lionel Taylor will hope this is against the Dragons, but you can tell from his body language it's going against the Monarchs.
Will be refused by Barcelona. Although if they do refuse it, you'd almost think at the 4:09 mark that
Holding, offense, number 79, penalties decline, 4th down.
Mark Lamb, the center.
So they only have 5 yards to go for the first down, but they're just too deep in their own territory, so they got to punt it away.
So it's the sunny Fexico to Marvin Marshall show once again.
And he's had 2 line drive kicks his last 2 kicks.
Fexico needs to get off a good one here. And it's a terrible one. Shanked and takes a bounce down to the 36-yard line. Just when they needed a big one from Fexico. It's probably the worst one of the night. So with 3:59 left, the Dragons continue to protect this 1-point lead.
So why did you leave AT&T?
I fell for the gimmicks.
I was just auditioning different companies.
And I thought, well, gosh, maybe I'll try it and just see.
And?
I'm disappointed. I miss AT&T.
AT&T misses you too. So we're making it easy to come back.
Anything that makes my life easier, I'm for it.
How does up to 100 free AT&T minutes sound?
I like free minutes.
We'll send you AT&T long-distance certificates good for up to 100 free minutes. Just for switching back to AT&T.
100 free minutes, I'm there.
There's more.
Keep hitting.
Only AT&T customers can get AT&T True Reach Savings.
Whoa, what's that?
Well, spend $25 a month and you save 25% to anyone, anytime, anywhere in the U.S.
I think it's right on the money.
And you're covered on every type of call on your AT&T phone bill. AT&T calling card calls, AT&T cellular long distance, collect calls you receive, even fax and modem calls. Pretty comprehensive, huh?
That's what I like about it.
Does it cost anything to sign up?
Nope, doesn't cost a thing.
Could you please be more enthusiastic?
All you have to do is call 1-800-GET-TRUE. So, have I convinced you yet?
I like what I see, but I kind of want to see more.
Yeah, I'd like to see what I'm saving.
I want something I can easily read, see where my savings are, and go, yes, I'm getting a good deal.
You got it. AT&T puts your savings right on your phone bill.
She could show it to me. She goes, look how much money I saved.
What more could you ask for?
How about this? You're backed by AT&T's world-class customer service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
What have I got to do to come back to you guys?
Call that number to switch now, and you'll get up to 100 free AT&T minutes. So, what do you think?
I think it sounds great.
Just with 100 free minutes, that sounds wonderful.
25% across the board.
And I know that the service is there. Can't get any better than that.
Well,
I think we'll switch.
Good decision.
Thank you.
You know what to do.
It's all within your reach.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
London trailing Barcelona by a point. 3:59 left. Nick Halling along with Dave Jennings. It's turnover time surely for the Monarchs defense.
Well, Holcomb has dropped the last couple of snaps, so London looking to maybe capitalize on it here.
And I'm sure the Dragons will look to keep it safe on the ground. And another fumble snap, and it looks like Holcomb was there first again. Or have the Monarchs recovered it? They have, just as we said. They came up with it. You mentioned the fumble snaps, and right on cue, the Monarchs defense has done it again.
Something we talked about at the beginning of the game. Look at that thing. Watch the snap. It got into his hands, but he didn't hold on to it. And there it's fallen to the right side of the offense. Can't see who got it, but London knows right away they did. The last couple of snaps he dropped, Holcomb did, they dropped right at his feet. This one scooted over to the side.
And for once, and for the first time in this half, Preston Jones has got field position. Tony Vincent gets nothing. Ran straight into Rick Hamilton. Another loss.
Now, keep in mind, for London, they don't have to get down to the end zone. They are only down by a single point, so the field goal would put them ahead by 2. But they're not in field goal range yet.
But London's problems with the running game, who would have believed it after the way Tony Vincent ripped up the Galaxy and the Admirals in the last 2 weeks? 350 yards in those 2 games. He'd struggle to get that on 350 carries tonight. Jones has trouble with the snap, but manages to get it and gets a man. Willie Hinchcliffe picks up his 5th catch of the game, and that's going to be close to first down yardage.
Now that's a medium-range pass. The long-range passes haven't gone. As we take a look at Ruzek, remember on his on the first field goal, he went down. Look at the little bobble here. But Preston Jones gets it, throws it. Hinchcliffe with the out pattern gets it, turns it upfield, gets a couple more yards. They're getting very close to field goal range, but it's 3rd and short.
They don't need a lot, and this will be a long field goal for Roger Ruzek in terrible conditions. Vincent just plows his way forward. It was met immediately at the line of scrimmage. Rick Hamilton and Tommy Thigpen. And they've taken Tony Vincent personally tonight, those guys. Well, you know, that first game at White Hart Lane in London, they finished 9-7 in favor of Barcelona. Barcelona with 3 field goals, London with a touchdown.
Now, London has requested a measurement. I think they want to see exactly how short it is. Because they weren't going to measure. The officials said no, they didn't make the first down. And you can see by London coming up to the line here that they are going to go for it regardless.
Well, it's a 45-yard kick from here.
I wouldn't try a field goal from here.
No way.
I don't know if Morton Anderson could make it.
Not in these conditions. And they're away short. That's a good yard. And remember, last time they were short, they tried to pass it. They just have no confidence in their ground game.
This could be the ball game right here, folks.
4th and 1 for the London Monarchs. Less than 3 minutes remaining. They give it to Vincent, who dives, and I don't think he made it. There was a second effort. Rick Hamilton stopped him, and I don't think he's done it.
Also, Kevin O'Brien came across also. I don't think he made it, though. Hamilton, number 53.
Well, there was a second effort there. He spun away.
But I don't know if they gave him the second effort.
Certainly from the initial contact, I don't think he's got it. What a great stand from Rick Hamilton. And the official's getting jeered for bringing the chains on. Surely this is academic. And there's confirmation. He's miles away.
Watch 53 Hamilton, middle linebacker. He'll come in from the right side of your screen. And 91 also made the initial hit. See 91 O'Brien, left side, right side. You'll see 53 come in. There's O'Brien. Collision, collision.
So the Dragons
couldn't. They dodged that one.
They still have some work to do here, and they're trying to keep it on the ground, which is the safe thing to do. Blaine Berger stopping Terry Wilburn after maybe a yard. And that's going to bring up 2nd and long. But the way the Monarchs defense has played this second half, Barcelona aren't out of the woods just yet.
Okay.
You know, both defenses can say we gave up 6 and 7 points. We both should win.
Well, the last game between these two was tight. But that was ugly, and both these teams know they need to win here to try and keep things going, because London go to Scotland. That's going to be a fierce battle, and then they finish at Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, against the Rhine Fire. All these games so important. Barcelona, after this game, well, they got to go to Frankfurt, which is never easy despite the Galaxy's slump.
4-0 for Frankfurt, now 0-4 for. They're really.
Imagine having to go to Scotland to win your last game.
Of course, it doesn't mean anything to Scotland, really. I mean, they'd like to play well because the next week they will be in the World Bowl, but
they don't care. Well, they do care, but they don't care who they face. 2nd and long. 2:25 left in the ball game, and there's been a lot of fumble snaps here. Holcomb has had trouble. He's got it again safely this time. They try and run it. They get to about the 29-yard line, just a yard or so. Kevin Gaines, the first man there. Andre Allen with some help, and Terry Wilburn needs to be sort of wrung out. He is soaking wet.
London uses another timeout.
The Monarchs working a timeout. Lionel Taylor showing the tension of what's been a very frustrating evening in the rain. He's enjoyed himself.
You ever wonder what our producer Jeff Gowan does during timeouts?
Yeah, he loses his footing just like Jeff as well.
Pay attention, you might hear it.
Smart now. Leave it right, 960 right on.
Well, we have a 3rd and 8 for the Barcelona Dragons. There's the 2-minute warning. London has 1 timeout, Barcelona 2.
You know, if you're Barcelona here, if you've got a little guts because of the 2-minute warning, it doesn't matter if you pass or run. Try passing the ball here.
Well, the #1 passing team in the World League going into this game has kept it on the ground tonight. And so far it's worked for them, but it's just a 1-point lead. And Holcomb is passing. And he gets hit and down and dropped for a loss. Rick Newbill, Lewis Capes.
See, because it doesn't matter. The 2-minute warning is going to stop the clock. So even if you throw an incomplete pass, it really doesn't matter.
And Lewis Capes has come up with a couple of sacks in crucial situations for the Monarchs in this second half. And that will do it as far as the 2-minute warning is concerned. It's still Barcelona leading London, but the Monarchs should get the ball back when we return.
Well, Grady, we think you're ready for the outside.
Thank you. Time for a crispy,
Black kid.
crunchy,
Butterfinger blast.
Crispy! Crunchy!
Have a Butterfinger blast from Nestle.
Wines this good must be guarded with care. That's why Franzia comes in an airtight pouch that protects the fresh taste to the last glass. Maybe that's why it's America's favorite wine.
Look, you have got to go to Office Depot and see for yourself. Office Depot has the best selection.
I buzz in, I get what I want, and I'm gone.
Either call or fax your order in. You can have delivery the very next day. Office Depot has a great catalog with everything from A to Z. Office Depot, the best.
Office Depot, taking care of business for companies of every size, everywhere, every day.
Hi, this is Malcolm Shower from the Amsterdam Avenue. I'm Andre Hewitt from Scottish Claymores.
I'm Steve Brooks from the Frankfurt Galaxy.
And you're watching FX.
And now it's time to play FX Challenge.
All right, contestants, question 1. Popular FX program where viewers ask questions about FX shows.
What is that, Jack?
Correct. Methods by which FX viewers speak their minds to FX.
What are voicemail, letters, faxes, and emails?
Yes, correct again. He's the popular and extremely talented host of Backchat. Talented host, Backchat.
Join host Jeff Probst and the whole Backchat gang on Backchat. Sundays at 4, 3 Central, only on FX.
Anybody? Here on FX, we've planted a seed.
So you can learn what you need to know about the things that grow.
Watch Garden Variety on FX, your home guide to the world of gardening.
Made easy.
Jeff Probst is your host.
I'll ask what, when, and how to plant.
And Cassandra Dance is our FX gardening guru.
I'll teach you how you can nurture nature.
Plus a whole bunch of down and dirty gardening tips.
Just let's try to be a little sophisticated.
Garden Variety premieres tomorrow at 3:30, 2:30 Central, only on FX.
It'll grow on you.
Well, here's a nervous young man, Shane Edge from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
How about Garton, the center, who snapped a high one early in this game?
He can't afford a high one now. 2 minutes left in the ball game. It's fairly high, but Edge can deal with it and gets it off, and that forces McIntyre right back to the 25. And McIntyre with some work to do. Can't find a hole to the 35-yard line, and the Monarchs with just 1 timeout.
I tell you, that is a beautiful kick by Edge. That is a clutch kick.
He's come up big time, but there is a flag. Well, Shane Edge obviously thought he'd been hit. Let's see if we can take a look, because all these punters are wimps, you know. Oh, yeah, well, he got hit.
Appeared he got blocked into him, too, so no call.
So no flag. Now Preston Jones has got some work to do. He goes for Willie Hinchcliffe again, who gets 6 yards and does the smart thing, gets out of bounds. Hinchcliffe's biggest night as a pro, this.
They do have 1 timeout left, but they would like to save it as long as they can. So Hinchcliffe running, he's the fastest guy in his field, so they've got to give him a little bit of a cushion.
Well, we've seen late drives and late field goals in the World League. Just last week, Paul McCallum for the Scottish Claymores, a 46-yard field goal to win it against Frankfurt with 1 second left. Can London do the same? Can Barcelona hold on? Hinchcliffe is wide open again, slips, didn't get out of bounds, and I don't think he got the first down. Mike Middleton on the stop, and a bit of inexperience showing there from the Kiwi. He needed a first down and out of bounds, and he's come up with neither. The clock continues to run. Vincent this time does get a first down to midfield, and this is where they'll have to use their timeout unless they just down it.
No, they have to. He signaled for a timeout, but they didn't. But I guess he didn't call it.
And the clock continues to run. 1 minute and 2 left. And Preston Jones very slowly gets up behind centre. And broken up, well broken up. They were looking for Ed Howard again, but Michael Wright read that one all the way.
Wright all over him. Good job by Wright.
Stops the clock with 50 seconds remaining, and you talk about field goal range, Dave. They've got to get it to about the 20-yard line to give Ruzek any kind of chance at all.
Wright all over this play is Lionel Taylor calling the next play, but you look to your right side of your screen because the receiver Howard coming back, but Wright all over the play. All over it.
Well, we've said it all night long, Dave. Receivers have had trouble getting open. How often have we seen receivers coming back to make catches? In this situation, London need receivers, and there's a fumble. It's a loose ball, and Barcelona think they've got it.
Yes, they do.
And that will do it. Well, you have to say the conditions have been the same for both teams, but the rain is the winner tonight.
Okay, see if he doesn't get the ball. It comes up, can't quite see it, but boy, Naposki all over that. That could be Ricky Sutton, I believe, 90. If that's 98, and it is, it's Ricky Sutton.
And it's just a quagmire in the middle of the field. The Monarchs can't stop the clock. Lionel Taylor knows his team is in big trouble. They'll drop to 3 and 5.
But only 1 game out, and Barcelona tied with 2 other teams at 4 and 4.
It's still open.
With Frankfurt coming up next week.
Now first down for Kelly Holcomb. They certainly don't want to dodge the snap. Holcomb takes the knee. And Jack Bicknell has worked very hard for this win tonight.
Same thing, same game.
Now even I know what that play is.
Same thing.
London uses their final timeout. Unless something crazy happens, this will be the last snap.
Well, you wonder if the London Monarchs' hopes of going to the World Bowl have been washed away in the reign of Barcelona.
And if Barcelona's have been resurrected. How about these 2 teams, though? They don't score a lot of points when they play each other.
9-7 in the first meeting, 7-6 here. And the Dragons have an excellent record against the London Monarchs down the years, with the exception of the World Bowl in '91 and the game here last year when Brad Johnson, Alan Allen and Eric Stevens were the heroes for the London Monarchs. No heroics tonight. Heroics not possible in these conditions. And the clock continues to run, down to 30 seconds.
They don't have to get off another snap, folks.
So El Caballero has come up with the goods. Just one touchdown in the game. Kelly Holcomb to Alfonso Browning in the final minute of the first half. And that's good enough to give the Barcelona Dragons a vital 7-6 win over the London Monarchs. But I've got to stress again, Dave, it's a game that really was taken away by the weather.
Well, but both teams had to play in it. You just have to put that out of your mind.
The Dragon faithful celebrate. Just over 9,000 of them braved the weather. Normally they'd have expected a lot more, but you couldn't blame anybody for not coming out in this weather. And it's still raining here as the fireworks go off.
Although it's lightened up, as you look at the puddles now, that raining very lightly, it kind of figures.
So Jack Bicknell's Cowboys have come up trumps. We'll hope to talk to Jack Bicknell when we return after the break. And Barcelona won this one 7-6.